Well, hello everyone, and good afternoon, and welcome to the second part of our marathon for the day. We've had a really good start to everything. Hi, my name is John. I'm from Rook and Rasp, and we are doing a charity marathon for the Diversity Scholarship. And I'm really excited to introduce our next GM for our upcoming game, and also the president of the Independent Game Designers Network, Craig Campbell.
Thanks, John. Thank you, players, for joining me. Thank you, viewers, for coming along for the ride. Yeah, I'm the president of the Indie Game Developer Network. It's a independent international trade organization of game designers of all sorts, tabletop and LARP, where we work to kind of help each other do things that are otherwise more difficult to do alone in the indie game realm. Um, and to that end, every year we hold this fundraiser to um, raise money to give to independent game designers from marginalized communities. So people that perhaps haven't had the opportunity or have it may not have the means to access some of the things that we have access to, that the larger game community sometimes does. And in the past, it's usually been to get people to get them to Metatopia, to help cover expenses to go to Metatopia, which is a game convention that is focused specifically on game design and playtesting. With COVID and there not being a physical in-person Metatopia, this year we're doing what we did previously the last couple of years, which is we're just going to give the money to them. Like, you know what you need the money for. Here, buy some artwork, get some editing, like pay your web hosting fees, whatever it is that helps you make your games. And so applications are open until tomorrow, October 9th, end of the day. And the fundraising will continue through the end of October, and the selection committee will work on picking people to receive from the applications, and we'll announce those and distribute the funds to the recipients in November. So that's what we're here to do today, is to help raise money for that. Also to, support a little bit of just like a little marketing for me, for the game that we're going to be playing today, which is Code Warriors, which is on Kickstarter right now. It is funded. It is on its way. We're just fattening up the book and working toward having an offset print run so everybody can get a really fancy schmancy version of the book. So that's where we're going with all of that. If you want to donate anytime before the end of the month, that's great. If you want to donate right now, however, I'm going to say this, that during the 3 hours or so of this game, if you donate, Nerdburger Games, my company, will match all donations up to $200 today, right now. So everything you donate is doubled. Isn't that fantastic? So
Wow.
if you've been thinking of a reason to donate and think like, well, when should I do it? That would be a good time. Anytime right now for the next 3 hours. So yeah, make me pay money. Nürburgring Games is happy to donate, but I'm going to use this. I'm going to hang this over your heads and use this as a way to encourage other people to donate as well. So I think that about covers it. Yes.
Think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Oh yeah, and there's the little thing flashing up on the screen there that tells you like you can get special things for donating too. So, John, you want to explain for everybody how that needs to be handled for people
Yeah.
listening,
All right,
watching?
so obviously, if you're looking at the screen right now, you should see several graphics that are going to be going through that can purchase anything from like $5 just for fun. You can make the party for 1 minute, speak questions only, to even saying, hey, let's make it a little bit more exciting. Have the GM drop a hard mob or a mob or a hard test on us. Now, of course, it is up to the GM how they want to work that in, if they want to do it immediately or if they want to take a moment. So there's all sorts of things. Throw a points of whatever sort. Anyway, you'll see those graphics scrolling through. Do not donate here. Do not, please. There's a link. I've already dropped it in the chat. You'll also see a quick link on the screen. Either of those. Follow those links. Type it in if you can type the one that's on the screen, or just click the link. Go to the GoFundMe. We're watching it. Be sure to tell us what it is you want to purchase. Go spend the money on the GoFundMe. Like I said, do not donate here. Rook and Rasp, we are great. We're happy. We do this kind of stuff all the time. We call ourselves community theater and community building. So, yeah, don't worry about us. Go spend it on the IGDN's GoFundMe page. And then let us know here in our chat that what it is you're buying. It's that simple.
All right. Are we ready to begin then, everybody?
I believe so.
Indeed.
Oftentimes with games like this, I would ask all of you to introduce your characters, but I've got a little setup that actually leads us into you all introducing your characters. So here we go. Booting up. For as long as you can remember, the system hummed along peacefully. Every program had a job. Those jobs kept everything working properly. Then the collapse began. No one knows how it started, but there is no end in sight. Buildings crumbled, devices stopped working, towns went dark, aberrants flooded the system, and programs like you died. With backups not functioning properly, they are just gone, deleted forever. 4 of you threw in together when things got really bad. You've been roaming the system now for days, weeks maybe, it's hard to be sure, helping where you can. Recently, you picked up a lone signal calling you toward Brick, a place previously devoid of life and activity in the system. There, you find a settlement of refugees fleeing the devastation of the collapse in ramshackle buildings and mobile vehicles built or buildings built out of vehicles. As we begin, you have arrived at Brick and are greeted by a rec, that's a program type, named Flinch. A little red light flashes on the front of Flinch's face, and he records you as you arrive and interviews you. Who are you? He turns to John's character.
Oh, I am Rek. I'm sorry, I'm not Rek. That is you.
You are a rec.
I am a Rek. I am Zipper.
And this is where the GM says, go ahead and tell us a little bit about you.
All right. So for Zipper, one second, really quick here. I am, in appearance, I am humanoid, but I am very much the clerical type. I even have a very humanoid kind of appearance, as if, imagine the overall appearance of that white shirt kind of imprinted but on a polygon, with a black graphic of a pocket protector that does not actually exist, but it is there in graphic form. And yeah, just for the most part, I am obviously more of a thinker than a fighter. I don't look like I'm all that tough, and I could probably look really out of place in the apocalypse.
Lynch then turns to Kaylee's character.
You can call me Six. And Six jumps down from the conveyance we were on, and a little droid floats up behind them and illuminates them with a soft light. Their skin, bright chrome, kind of androgynous looking, reflects the light very, very like a glistening pattern. I'm here to, well, try and bring hope to the wastes, and everything's really difficult here. I'm an AV, if you can't tell, obviously. I'm sure you've heard of me at this point. My friends and I here, we're here to help, and just tell us how we can help, because everyone needs help. And a small digital tear.
Flinch looks to you and says, there's a great deal of despair here. I'm sure that people can use some songs. And then turns to Corey's character.
I'm simply known as Packet. I was a former operator program. These days I'm just trying to make sure everybody gets through as best as they can. And
Um,
Packet is an op character, uh, kind of squat body, oversized head, kind of blue and silver color scheme with line work all throughout their body.
Ops
There's a
look a lot
little
like,
bit.
yeah. Oh, a bit. Go describe the bit.
And the bit is just a tiny little glowing cube that just kind of always hovers over Packet's shoulder somewhere, kind of switches between shoulders. But she's always got at least one of them up.
Ops look a little bit like Bad Robot, the little red robot in Bad Robot.
Aw.
And we do have our first donation. Did somebody already mention it yet?
No,
Oh,
thank
so
you.
we have our first donation for 15. We have a trusty pet companion now showing up.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice.
at your choice, of course, GM.
Okay. And then Flinch looks to the other Mike, the other Michael, as it actually says in my little window here.
The
Character.
other Michael. A heavy-looking program hops down off the conveyance, and when the program hops down, the conveyance actually bobs a bit. This program looks a little bit like a primitive render, like a primitive 3D render of a stone golem. But it appears to also be wearing a puka shell necklace and what might be considered flamboyant, like island shorts. Oh, hey, I'm Rek. Yeah, I'm here to just help out with everybody and their problems. I mean, there's a lot of problems right now, right? The world is kind of falling apart, and I'm just here to help as much as I can.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You're a Sav, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, big, tall. Savs are taller than any of the other program types. Okay, so Surfer Sav. Wow. Okay.
Surfer stone golem.
It's a heck of a surfboard. Rek Flinch looks to you and says, "Very well. Enter. Please do not commit any violence. Please do not commit any theft. Will be dealt with harshly by those in charge here. This is a place of peace and collecting ourselves up in the wake of these difficult times. Please abide by these rules. If you do not, punishment will be meted out. Thank you." And the little light boop goes off. They're no longer recording you, and you are left to peruse the impermanent settlement of Brick, which is imagine lean-tos, spots where vehicles have been partially disassembled, or in some cases, like the vehicle has those campers that have like the awnings that pull out and they open up and all those sorts of things. So there's vehicles that do that sort of thing. Everything here is in just a bit of disrepair. Clearly, it's not, everything's not been taken care of terribly well. There's a number of the vehicles that are sporting significant damage. They've clearly seen some sort of great system hazard that has come upon them and caused damage, or perhaps the people there have seen attacks by aberrants. For the purposes of this game, aberrants are effectively monsters. They are corrupt code and programs that have come to life that are looking, to basically destroy the system as you know it. Aberrants have always existed. That's one of the reasons Savs exist, to defend and contain them. But
They're totally no bueno.
and no, they are not bueno. They have become much more common over the course of time here in the recent weeks since the collapse. So the group of you are making your way through. You see programs of all shape and variety, and let's see. Let's roll some dice. Not in the system, but I'm gonna have everybody roll a die. The game uses D8s. I'm looking for high roll. Everybody roll a die. Give me your roll.
6.
I'm gonna use a pool of D8s.
1.
A 1. Got an 8.
Anybody roll higher than an 8?
It's yours.
Alright.
I got that one. So yeah.
It's Corey. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. As the group of you is making your way through Brick and kind of taking all of this in, you, Corey, and I've got to try to put your names to your characters.
Packet.
Packet. You are approached by a bot, which is like a little helper robot. It's a little floating sphere with a little eye slit that glows, and like the little light goes back, back and forth. It's got two little arms that aren't actually attached to its body, but kind of float next to it. It's just like forearms and fingers grasping. Bots are little helper robots. They have a moderate form of sapience. They're able to defend themselves by running away, and they are able to. But they're primarily workers and drones and helpers. You can give a bot a single task, often a repetitive task, to complete, and it will continue doing that until it has either completed the task or until it is somehow prevented from doing so. Otherwise, it just kind of floats along with you, and it seems to take some sort of a liking to you. And that's your little helper, like we had a little pet. That's your pet. You can name the bot.
I'm gonna name it Dot.
Aw.
Just because it's
Dot.
both a channel callback and a reboot callback.
I say Dot will appreciate it, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I think at the end of this, if Packet doesn't end up with some sort of like menagerie, she's not doing something right. She's already got like 4 bits that she can summon, and now a bot.
I'm just getting names down next to your character. I'm probably going to refer to you by your characters a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Just a note, Craig. The character name on the panel here is not quite right. I did enter it into our chat.
Character name?
The character name is Rampart.
Yeah, I had that.
Okay.
It's okay.
I didn't. I've written it down 3 different names and crossed it out now 4 times. Literally just this constant cross.
I mean,
list.
My programmer is just going through different name variants. It's okay. It happens.
It was just
Dude,
a
it's just-
random name
it's-
generator.
He's
Dude,
got
it's
6
just a name. It's not like who I am, right?
Exactly.
Not my soul.
That's not like the heart of the program, right?
So you all can go take a look around and kind of think of this place as a post-apocalyptic hippie commune. So there's a lot of people that are, everybody's very cooperative at helping each other, and they seem to be kind of strangely high spirits, given the state of the system right now. So you can go ahead and kind of amongst yourselves, tell me anything you might be looking for in particular, if you have any particular agenda, before somebody donates something and I suddenly have to throw a bunch of monsters at you or something.
Ooh.
I think. Go ahead, John.
I was gonna say I'm making a list of everything that I see, because that's what I do. I want to, I'm kind of studious. I'm observing everything. I'm like, oh, there's this. In the back of their mind of if we're going to be here a while, who's available and how can we fix things? So.
Good.
As you're walking, you hear a number of the programs talking about the strange lack of needed fixes here. Previous, this was essentially, think of it as a bad sector on a computer disk. This was an area where nothing worked, nothing functioned, nothing could, like programs couldn't enter here without a battery. Like you were cut off from the grand power source that kind of keeps everything running. It was a dead area. But since the collapse, apparently it's not so dead. People are kind of wondering and pondering and offering theories as to why that may be. And they range from as simple as Well, the collapse caused a surge of power that flooded into this area, and it kind of built everything back up all the way up to there's some grand conspiracy of like some programs that were performing experiments here, but the collapse came and they all got killed, so this experiment stopped, and now everything's back to the way it's supposed to be. I'm talking like Rampart. It's like a conspiracy, man.
It is catchy.
It really is. Got to make a surfer robot game.
No, but dude, the world works in cycles, right? The system is all cycles, man, and the cycles always come back around, right? I mean, that's just the way of the program. That's the way of the system, right?
That's the way the disc spins.
Exactly.
That's a great
Zipper
line.
gets it, man. Zipper gets it.
That's a part of the world now, but it's the way the disc spins.
Rampart's gonna wander around this little commune, like offering his assistance where he can. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I help you carry that? I mean, that looks pretty heavy, and I'm pretty buff.
Zipper's just rolling his eyes at this.
Yeah, Packet's shaking her head. Just like, really.
He means well.
I think 6 is like just nodding along with Rampart, just like, yeah, that is true. Look at that. Look at him. He's just living his truth. Those people over there look like they can need cheering. I'm going to go talk to them. And like 6 wanders over to like a small group of programs that look kind of downtrodden. Like they look cold somehow, like they weren't wearing enough clothes. I don't know. It very much reminds you of a scene from like A Christmas Carol. And she starts to talk to them, and like her skin keeps like shifting colors. Are
they trying to warm their hands over like a small heat sink?
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much. That's beautiful. And after she talks to them for a minute, you can hear her start to sing. She gets a little taller, gets like some digital hair, and she launches into one of her renditions of "We Don't Need Another Zero."
No. Question. Being an AV, for the record, for people here, AVs are, that's short for Avatar. They are like the remnants of game programs or saved data for games. You have two, and they're in the old world before the collapse. They were celebrities and influencers and like well known. They were stars of different types of entertainments and sports. Have two personas because they can shapeshift. Are you in your public persona, the persona that people would recognize right now?
100%.
You have another version, which is like the version where the movie star goes out with the baseball cap on, and they don't have any makeup on, and they're wearing dowdy clothes, and that's how they hide.
Sort of, but it's a little more drastic for 6. It's more like the classic trope where you get the girl who's completely ignored, and then she puts on makeup and is super pretty, and then nobody believes that that's her. And they're basically played by 2 different actresses. That's what it looks like.
Hannah Montana. Sorry.
Oh, got a little cold there, John.
You go over there, and there is very briefly and almost like it gives you pause. Like the programs that you're approaching, you start speaking to them. You kind of go over there and give them a smile, and they sort of look at you oddly, like, what is going on here? And then a couple of them recognize you, and their little eyes pop, and they're like, oh, and they're now, your full name is
6-string samurai.
And that means
she does have a guitar she plays.
Okay, so you are a musician.
Yes.
Say, can you play something? Can you play something? Can you play something, please? You've got 2.
She totally
one
launches into it.
One clearly recognizes you. The other one is super fanning out. Is awestruck. Please.
Oh, yeah. Of course, dear. Another song. This one's from my upcoming release. And she flicks a hand, and her little bot drone comes and starts recording and getting close-ups of the fan reaction and everything like that, because there's 2 cameras, one on either side, so she can be recorded while recording the audience. And she does her best to uplift her fans.
Let's make a trait check now. Let's see how everybody reacts to you. In the game, you'll use D8 dice. It's a pool of dice. Everybody has 4 traits: body, mind, charm, and heart. Body is everything physical. Mind is everything mental and intellectual, including your senses. Charm is everything social about your character, and heart is your inner fortitude, your wherewithal, your courage, and also kind of your connection to the system. That kind of inherent connection, because you are all part of one great system. When you make a trait check, you will roll a number of d8s equal to your rating, which can run between 1 and 4. Advantage gives you an additional die. Disadvantage subtracts a die, although you never drop below 1 die. And you'll be shooting for a target number between 5 and 8. So to impress all of these fine people, programs I should say, let's have a charm check, target number 6.
What does specialties give me? I have a specialty of
specialty-
helping others.
Well, there's a specialty called performing, and if you do you have that?
No, I didn't. I have bluffing, persuading, and helping others.
Okay. Helping others is like when you're literally like helping others who are in danger or hurt.
Okay, good to know. Then I will roll my three dice for my charm.
And normally a specialty would grant you advantage if you have it. It's
Good to know.
And
Alright.
just as a quick note, we do have 2 purchases, one that we can do before break later on, and we do have a request for a special item from chat. So
okay.
Nice.
there we go.
All right, I have rolled an 8.
That's okay. Versus target number 6, 1 success.
Yeah. So I got 2, 5, and 8.
Okay, so in the game, just for your reference, a success is referred to as a hit, like if you got 1 hit. So
Okay.
on a trait check, if you get 0 hits, you fail at the thing, and there's some sort of complication that makes the story more interesting. If you succeed with exactly 1 hit, you do the thing, and you and go back to failure. You get the complication, but you also mark 1 skill. You learn by failing, so you fill up your skill track. You can advance your character. We're going to start with everybody at 0 skill right now. It's a one-shot. We're likely not going to be advancing any characters. If you succeed with 1 hit, you do the thing, and you mark 1 juice. In the game, juice is a currency that you will spend. You'll gain, you'll lose. It'll fluctuate wildly during the game. Everybody had a starting juice score, so you're going to gain a juice as you succeed here. If you succeed with 2 or more hits, you do the thing, you do it extra well. It's called a boon, so there's some extra bonus that you get out of it. And you mark an overload, because you, in order to do this great thing, you are drawing more power from this corrupted, collapsing system, and it's going to eventually cause you to glitch. So if you fill up your overload track, your character glitches. And we never talked about the glitch or the overload track. Everybody, you don't have to announce it, but mark yourself at 6 or 7 overload, your choice. The track goes up to 8. So the point here being that we're going to see a couple of characters glitch at some point. And we'll deal with that when and if that happens. So you succeed, you mark a juice. You get that group of 4 programs kind of all happy, and they're like, you raise their spirits. The fan bot. The fan bot. No, they're not a bot, but yeah, the fan program, the super fan, goes ballistic, like top end, over the top, super fanning out. Oh my god! And I can't believe six string samurai is singing a song just for me. And you manage to gather a little, like those 4 people are very into it, but then like a number of the programs around you are all kind of noticing and paying attention to you at this point. If anybody wants to take advantage of that situation or shy away from that situation or anything in between, now is your chance, everybody.
Packet may actually take advantage of the situation. She's just kind of casually checking the health of everybody in the area. She used to be a PC health checker. She's going to use her code scanner for that.
Okay. Give me a mind check. Target number. You want to look over everybody, or as many
Yeah.
as many people, as many
As many
programs as
people
you
as
can
possible.
nearby. Surreptitiously, give me a mind check. Target number 6, but with advantage because you've got just the right tool for the job. There, that code
All right.
scanner will help you with that.
And advantage gives me what exactly?
Gains you 1 die.
Okay. An 8, 7, 6, and a 3. So, got an 8 on that.
Well, we need to keep
Alright.
track of how many.
Mhm.
So you got an 8763, so 3 hits.
Okay.
That's going to be a success with a boon. It's going to mark an overload. And you get a good scan in on everybody. Everybody's really kind of not paying attention to you, instead of watching 6. And everybody here, majority of the programs here are beat up a little bit. They're kind of on the condition track. They're exhausted or they're tense. They've got at least like 1 box marked in game terms, and that's more that's something that if they get a chance to really rest and take care of themselves and not run into any other problems, they'll heal. That'll get better. They'll fix themselves. But a lot of the programs here are, not surprisingly, given that they're kind of out in the midst of all of this, and several of them, who knows, they may have run into aberrants recently. They're just dealing with the trauma of being in this kind of apocalyptic situation. They're either physically injured or stressed.
Now, this does put me at 8 on my overload tracker now.
It does.
So I took the
So you
7.
can go ahead and clear that all the way
Okay.
back down to 0. And then we're going to glitch you. I've flipped to the glitch table. First, I need you to roll a die and tell me odds or evens.
I'm gonna go evens.
Oh, you have to just roll the die and tell me what you get. Sorry.
Oh, well, I got an odd. I got a 7.
Odd. Okay, now roll again, because there's 2 tables, because there's 16 glitches. So roll again on the odds table through 8.
5 on that second roll.
5 is body bleed.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. You glitch, and you can tell us how this actually looks, but you're in constant pain. With glitches, just like with other abilities that you have, glitches start. This is the version 1 of this glitch. If you were to glitch again, you would either roll another glitch, or you could advance this glitch to version 2, which is worse and usually has game mechanic consequences. This is just a role-playing kind of flavor thing right now.
Yeah.
And then if you do that, puts you on the cusp of being able to advance to version 3. And version 3 is where you harness your glitch and turn it to your advantage. And so you find a way to make, it gives you the ability to do something that you otherwise wouldn't be able to do. So you have to kind of suffer through the bad stuff in order to get the cool ability. You can always also choose to just gain other glitches. But that's not going to happen probably in this game unless you start rolling like nuts.
Okay, to be fair, one of my gaming group nicknames is Critney for a reason, so bear in mind it might happen. So, if anybody's paying attention to Packet, the wire work that wraps around her body kind of just starts bending a little bit. Kind of, instead of like the straight lines and terminal connections, some of them just kind of warp in intriguing ways that aren't, I guess natural would be the right term for a computer system.
A lot of jagged edges, sharp angles. Like it looks unpleasant.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like, oh, that's like what you're designed to look like. This is clearly something wrong.
Yeah.
People don't, the programs don't really take notice of that. But at this point forward, you can consider your character to be dealing with some level of pain at any given time. Everybody is a little beat up, but nobody's in dire need of assistance right at this moment. The joy and the fun and the music of this moment is suddenly shattered by screams of terror from across the camp here at Brick. You hear programs yelling, "No! Help! Aberrant! Aberrant!" And off in the distance at the kind of the far end of the camp, you can see like a slow ripple of bodies where like activity is beginning. Like people are running and they're moving your direction.
Oh my.
I think that's our cue. I think we head that direction. Hey,
It's our
Rampart.
time to shine. There's a pose, and then
Wonderful. All right.
Like I say, it's time to rock, everybody.
Oh, certainly for you, yes.
What do I do? What do I do?
Well, we could do this. Your compatriots like get into a huddled little mass and start running down there, and they just like, without really thinking, and they're just kind of pushing and bumping and scraping and like dragging you along, like whoop 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 whoop. We could drag you kicking and screaming into the middle of danger.
I figure that's what's going to happen. It's a very C-3PO kind of moment.
It's this, you're getting pinballed back and forth between these other three who are ready to go, and you're like,
Oh my.
fine.
Packet, to be fair, is just following right behind Rampart, letting Rampart clear the ocean, so to speak.
I picture 6 is like just behind and to the left. They're almost like a weird flying V formation behind Rampart.
Rampart claps his hands together, and appearing kind of above, over his right arm, this digital form appears, and it looks like a large boogie board.
Of course it does.
Kind of over his right arm, and then in his left hand, this sword appears, and the sword looks as though it's made of water. Like it's like this digital reference of water that just keeps kind of like rippling up and down the blade form, and the handle, the handle of it looks a bit like a conch shell.
Oh, that's nice. Way too many hours playing games, Rampart. But it's useful.
It's finally paying off.
Is that one of your abilities?
Oh, for sure. This is just something I've always been able to do. I mean, it's just part of me, man. Again, it's part of the program. It's what I was made for, right?
So it's a feature of yours. What's it called?
Oh, this is my sword and shield. I call this Boogie, and he holds up the Boogie board, and this is Wave Crasher, and it's the sword.
Excellent.
They're always with me. They're just part of me.
I like that idea. And
Abs can manifest weapons.
yeah.
Their own power.
Out of curiosity, so I have the ability copy paste undo at a 2.0. If I copy that, does it only last the round, or does it last for a length of time?
It should probably last till the end of however long it would last for him, which is basically he can just keep it up until he decides to drop it.
So
Let me double check. That's an upgrade, right? That's
yeah, that's yep.
No, that's a feature of yours.
Yeah, it's one of my features, copy paste undo, and I have it at a 2.0.
I'm gonna make a note. I want to clarify that in the rules. But yeah, it'll last for the scene essentially.
Wonderful. So yes, I use my powers, being a proc is that I'm gonna copy your weapon and shield.
Maybe when Zipper does that, Like Zipper like lifts up, like pulls a pen out of the fake pocket protector and like clicks it, and it becomes the sword.
That
There you
is a
go.
brilliant idea. I love it. Yes.
Yeah.
Pulls his name badge off the other pocket and it expands into a shield.
Yeah, for sure.
But it keeps your name and all the information on it. It's just
Right,
really
it's
big.
just a big. It's just a big.
Really big.
And the pen, your sword is just a big pen.
Craig, I'm going to use my reskin feature, and I'm going to spend a juice, the juice that I got for my hit here, and as we're running through, Six takes an extra bound and ends up in the air, and then everything goes like to this green digital backfield, and they become a silhouette that begins to spin slowly, and from the bottom of their feet. Yes, magical girl transformation, by the way. Like a different color skin of whites and golds begin to form, and her form bulks out. And when she like comes back down on the step, keeping in perfect, rhythm with the group, she's about a foot taller and has a large glitter-infused baseball bat in her hand.
Of course it does. And Packet's just going to kind of walk into combat. And that's okay. You can have one that's
Packet is
just like,
looking
all right,
for- yeah.
fine.
Yeah, no,
You're all-
Packet's not very good at combat. She's only got one body, but she's going to do as much as she can to cause chaos in our favor. Because she can get into the system and maybe recode some things.
Right.
I feel like Six is wearing a T-shirt that says "Coder's Little Monster."
100%.
As you pinball and push Zipper down to the danger, you come across. You see that there is a giant ball, like a big sphere with like a gaping. Like a gaping maw on the end of it, like a big opening with teeth all pointing in from all directions all the way around, and it's covered in spikes and blades that are spinning and rotating around it. It looks incredibly dangerous, and it is currently boring its way like through a speeder. It's just starting on one end and just. But the interesting thing is, no shards of speeder are flying anywhere. It's like just consuming them. It's as if it's just going into that mouth and it's just gone. And it's boring through this thing. You can only imagine what it would do if it were to bore its way into a program. So I think we've got. Who wants to go first?
Oh man, the little dude's
Right,
just
there we go.
hungry.
That's well. You spoke first, so we'll start with you.
Okay.
The initiative in the game works a little differently. The way it works is we'll start with a Rampart, and you'll get your action when you finish up. You'll choose who goes next.
Okay.
We continue that way until everybody has gone in this round, and then the person who goes last gets to choose who goes next round, and they can choose themselves. And then my actions come as like reactions to things that are happening rather than having a set initiative. So you all will be able to manipulate kind of like how you go in order. If you want to make sure I can set somebody up and then hand that action off to that person to do the thing.
Cool.
So we start with
That
Rampart,
sounds
which makes
fun.
sense being the kind of defendery type.
All right. Rampart will move forward toward the aberration, and I guess we'll try. We'll start this out right. Rampart's going to swing the wave breaker, swing his sword at this creature that just appears to be hungry.
Just looking for food, but it's eating somebody's home.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a body check, target number 7. With advantage.
He's totally
you
got the
have-
munchies.
You have a specialty that fits.
I do not have a specialty. Actually, I do have a specialty. I have fighting.
There you go. So 1 additional die, target number 7.
That's I have 3, but the specialty is 4. And does the, out of curiosity, does the installed sword, does the version number of the sword give me additional dice as well?
Does not.
Okay.
And for the record, you can only have advantage from one source. You can only have disadvantage from one source.
Okay.
Your highest trait is only ever going to be a 4. You can get advantage to gain a die, and you can spend a juice to gain a die on a check.
Okay.
So, like in this game, the most dice you will ever roll is 6.
Okay. All right, 1 8, 1 6, 1 5, and 1 2.
Target number 7. How many? You got one hit.
1 8, 1 hit.
You carve into that thing. The teeth of the teeth and the spikes that are spinning around on this thing don't seem to know what to do with the watery blade that you have, because you hit the thing and it clearly, carved into it and damaged it. And then as you pull it out, the water kind of like because the blades on or the spikes on the thing are constantly spinning. It keeps hitting your sword, but it just passes through like the water, just poof. So and as you pull the weapon,
like digital,
it doesn't shred. Yeah, it splashes a little bit, and it does the like artifacting glitch thing.
Got it.
Splash damage.
It doesn't shred your weapon in the process because
wonderful
because of its form. Who goes next?
Let's see. Next we will have. Let's see what Packet does.
All right. Packet is going to spend a point of juice to get out one of her auxiliary bits, and she's going to ask Dot and that bit, particularly 00, she has them all named, to get the rest of the, I guess, civilians out of the area. And then she's going to look to see if she can jack in to just see if there's a barrier nearby she can bring down on this thing. Or just manipulate the field so it's in Sav's advantage, or Rampart's advantage.
Okay. You can. So you've got your bit. You've got the bot that is taken a liking to you. So you give the bot orders to escort programs away.
Yeah.
And you tell the bit to do the same. The bit can only speak in yes and no. If you remember Tron, this is bit. So the bit. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
In addition to her standard feature messenger, she did take the upgraded bit 2.0, so she can have up to 4 bits around her at any point.
Okay, so you've got a whole bunch of bits. So you just you send your army of bits out.
Yeah.
And all they can do is go, no, 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 no. Just like anybody who approaches, they go, no, no. They all crowd around one program, no, no, and kind of nudge them the other way. Love it.
Yeah.
Whereas the bot can actually go up and take somebody's hand, and say, just kind of drag them this direction, like They don't speak, but they just we're gonna
maybe the bits like form a pattern that's like a pulsating pattern, and it's like just like pushing toward people.
There are 4
do
lights.
A little dance. Whatever the case, they all your 5 little patriots here all manage to kind of clear any potential collateral damage out of the way. And whose turn is it next?
I am going to go with 6. I want to see what she does.
Once 6 sees you doing that, it's like, thanks for clearing it, Miss Packet. And she jumps in next to Rampart with her bat and brings it down on the thing. So that would be a body roll, I'm guessing.
Body check, target number 7.
Okay. Don't expect much. I'm a singer, not a fighter, but hey. 1-7.
One hit.
Give me my juice back.
You walk up to this thing with your beautiful, beautiful baseball bat, and peg it once. Nice.
Am I allowed to use a feature also, or is that another
depends.
separate action?
What feature is it? Does the feature have an A in parentheses after it? If it has an A in parentheses, it counts as your action for the turn.
I don't know. It's Code Scan 1.0. Basically, when I meet an NPC for the first time, you automatically know one of their strengths or weaknesses.
This is an aberrant, not an NPC.
Oh, okay.
Ops have the ability to know what aberrants do.
Fair enough.
Okay. So,
And
go
I'm
up
gonna.
there, go ahead.
I was gonna say then. I think Zipper's gonna do what Zipper does here, after me.
And what did I do?
And mark a juice for doing that for one hit. You peg it once, and break off one of its little spines that's rotating around on its back. That goes flying, hits the ground, sticks in the ground. It's Zipper's turn.
All right. How about you? And I will run up with my now sword-shaped pen and strike at it. So, which I guess will be a body check.
They check target number 7.
Got it. All right, for that body check.
You can do it, Zipper. I hear the pen is mightier than his sword.
No, I whiff.
But you gotta hit it though.
You will you swing and a miss. You go up there. The pen does not do the job. And I want you to mark a physical condition.
All right.
As when you get up close to it like that, it the spinning blades and spikes all over it tear into you. You know, they nick you in the arm.
Got it.
And who's next round? Who's top of the order? That is to say.
Let's give it back to
whose turn is it
Rampart.
next? Back to Rampart.
Oh, it hurts.
Response to all that's going on here. The thing.
Oh no, we can skip its turn. That's
No. Well, it got to hurt. It got to hurt Zipper, it got to hurt Zipper because you missed, and that took advantage of that. So it comes roaring out of that vehicle. It's all spines and blades whirling around in this great big mouth, and right behind it is another one.
Oh my.
It's
No!
now tearing through another spot in this vehicle. You didn't see it because it was completely on the other side when all of this started. You only saw the one that was just emerging. Rampart, your turn.
Oh, well, if there's 2 of them, then there better be 2 of me. It's going to be double trouble. And he slams his forearms together, and he's going to use duplicate 1.0.
Okay.
So he slams his forearms together, and literally, like, next to him materializes an exact duplicate of him. And the duplicate has his features, but not his upgrades, if I recall.
That's correct.
Okay, so the duplicate also has, when it forms, it also has a similar looking boogie board shield and a similar looking sword that is a slightly different color. Both of the weapons are different colors.
Okay.
So is the duplicate's colors like green compared to your like purples?
Yeah, so Rampart's overall color is kind of like a reddish tone, and then the duplicate comes into play, and the duplicate's color is kind of like a greenish tone, and the weapons are also kind of like greenish toned.
Complementary colors, very nice.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, good to see you, bro. Yeah, bro, let's do this.
Oh, this. Okay.
So game economy note for everybody. He didn't suddenly gain 2 abilities or gain twice as many of attacks or anything, but basically he can use his action to direct his duplicate. The duplicate can make checks and everything with the limited abilities that it has. And he can move, he can do minor things, like he could be escorting people out of the area or locking a door or like other quick minor things, but anything that's like action that's going to be like significant to overcome a challenge, he can still only do one of those. He has to do it through himself or through his duplicate.
Yep.
But it also it would put him in the position of being able to like turn 2 levers flip 2 levers at the same time. They're on opposite sides of the room and that sort of thing.
Carve 2 gnarly waves.
Yeah.
All right.
So what are you going to have your duplicate do?
The duplicate forms, and
Nope. Actually, forming your duplicate is your action.
Is the action? Yep.
But you can do minor stuff if you've got. I mean, you could send the duplicate in to basically be a shield because it's.
Yeah. So
it's not sapient or anything. It's just a carbon copy.
Bro, make sure my homies don't take. Oh, that was horrible. I mean, I'm just Oh, bro, make sure my friendos here don't get too hit. All right. Sure thing, brother. And it
runs up there and starts.
It starts like kind of like haphazardly waving the boogie board in front of the monster.
In front of the lead one.
Yeah. No, in front of the new one that just popped up.
Gonna keep it under wraps for a little bit so you can deal. Okay.
Try and keep it distracted. We will go with Zipper.
Oh, goody. And I will try to hit again with my sword pen. 2 times. Let's see if I can get it on the second.
Target number 7.
All right, there we go. There's that 7 finally. So on one of the dice. All right.
You hit it with your pen. How do you? Well, I'll ask you this: how do you kill it? Because you just did.
Ooh, I probably like quickly in the air do like a Zorro-esque flourish, but it's more like tic-tac-toe. Yeah. And then I jump back. So little glowing lines appear on the creature, and guess it shreds to pieces. Or what does it look like when something dies in this world? Uh-oh. We have temporarily lost Craig just for a moment.
He warned us this would happen. We're supposed to roleplay the heck out of it.
I am now Craig. Bow to me!
I am back.
Oh.
Welcome back, Craig 2.0.
I am the duplicate.
He's upgraded.
Craig. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so I was trying to figure out the problem here. What did you say you did to the?
So I little glowing lines appear in the air. I kind of do my whole like almost Zorro-esque flourish, but it's tic-tac-toe, and diagonal.
And the creature begins to vibrate, and all the little spines on its like they start to make this kind of harmonious jumble of music. 6, this is really painful to you, more than likely, and it blows up. And let's see, John, you're right up there. Mm-hmm. Michael, you're right up there.
All of us except for Packet are right there.
Packet are right up there. Everybody except for Packet. I need a body check target number 6.
Right.
Do not get exploded with shrapnel.
I got an 8.
1-8.
Does a massive provide me a benefit?
Be a negative?
Probably a negative, but no, it doesn't. But you had you got a 6 in there, didn't you?
Yeah, I have virus shield also. Would that be of any use against aberrants in and of themselves, or is it just like for specifically viruses?
Specifically for virus damage.
Okay.
Which this thing does not have, but there are aberrants in the game with virus damage, and when you run into them, you will be really happy that you have a virus shield.
Well, I took the upgrade for that also, so I can provide it to.
Ooh, nice.
You can shield others.
Yes. I have 2 8s and 2 5s.
Okay. And this is what we refer to in the game as a reaction check. You don't mark any boxes for this. This is just like, did you dodge, for example, in this case. It's
so I think I have 2 hits.
Yeah, everybody who had to make the roll made the roll. You're good. You don't blow up. And as it blows up, dropping out of its mouth that was kind of stuck between its teeth before it got a chance to consume it completely is a little cube about this big. It's gold. And it boom, boom, hits the ground, and that's our special item, everybody. Ooh, I literally had the monster die and drop loot. You're welcome.
Always appreciated.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I love this game.
However, that's Zipper. Whose turn is it next? There's still another one that's got a distraction in front of it, but it's coming through.
Okay, so coming after me and Rex.
Sixer packet.
Yep.
Still to go this turn.
So we're gonna go ahead and let 6 go.
All right. Yeah, the thing explodes. 6 manages to knock some of the shrapnel out of the way with her bat. She goes, "Way to take it down, Mr. Z. Let's get the other one." And she leaps into combat with that one, bringing her bat down on its flank because, well, Rampart's dude bro is there, kind of causing some distractions. So,
Target number 7 body check.
I got an 8.
And that will hit it. You tear into it with your sword.
The duplicate Rampart's like,
Your
whoa,
backstory.
nice swingage.
Thanks, big guy.
That leaves packet for the turn.
I should also really quickly. I should also note that every time she hits that, glitter explodes on it and gets everywhere. It's not covering it; doesn't do any negatives to it, but they basically have glitter splotches all over them that will not wash out. So, take it away, Packet.
Can I take advantage of that glitter and try and use some of that glitter to blind it?
You could try to use it as some
manipulation.
sort of a distraction sort of feature. You'd have to gather a whole bunch of it up. Or you could go over. You could shake a bunch out of the bat. Just walk over to the bat. And...
Alright.
It's all over
'cause
the ground.
that's-
It would take a while to shake. Here's the
Okay,
thing. It would
I'm
take a
not
while
gonna-
to gather it off the ground. But if you want to just shake it out of the bat, you can do it as a partial action, as a freebie. You want to do something interesting with it.
I am gonna go ahead and do that. My bits and dot are all hurting other programs away. I'm gonna just kind of use the bat to leap onto the top of this thing and just dump the glitter onto where I think its eyes are. I don't know where its eyes are.
Yeah.
And
Hey, hang on. You gotta. The bat's gotta be held like this. Otherwise, you're not gonna get the most glitter dispersion.
But what about? Oh my goodness, glitter is all over me now. Thank you so much.
See, that's what happens if you don't hold
just
it
matches your
correctly.
sparkling personality.
Yeah.
Okay, here you go. Take this. This is your glitter. Don't use it all in one place.
Wow, we're gleaming with the energies of the universe, everybody. This is excellent.
Yeah, no.
So
Just
you've got a
gonna
bunch
have
of glitter.
Jeez.
Oh, pause. We all pause.
Yeah.
And one of the
Yeah,
bits
okay.
has a lot to say.
Must be 1-1 the messenger.
Alright. Yeah.
Oh, there are ghosts.
There are ghosts.
Ghosts in your home. No.
Ghosts in the machine.
If you didn't catch what Packet was doing, she's just gonna, that shield scene from Wonder Woman, that off of Six's bat. Probably not gonna go well, but gonna use some of that glitter to her advantage. Hopefully.
Okay, so all right, yeah. Do I mean that's basically a quick kind of freebie action because hey,
Yeah.
it's fun. Go ahead. What do you want to do specifically with it? The thing doesn't have eyes per se, but it's obviously sensing in some way. So like a big enough cloud of it, probably.
I just want to interfere with its sensors of whatever
Okay.
kind. Distraction, hypnotize, whatever.
Just a
What?
big-
Yeah, what check would this be?
Oh boy. Let's call it target number 6.
Out of
it's
body?
kind of a
Oh, yeah.
dexterity, yeah, like placing
body.
the glitter bomb, right? Target number 6.
That's a good
Body
check.
check.
1. That is nope. That's a 4.
Oh,
That
no.
does not succeed.
In the process of throwing that glitter, you throw it all over the duplicate as well, and the duplicate goes, "Whoa, whoa, dude!" And
Bye.
and the
That was a pretty good Rampart.
whoa, dude, and
Yeah.
Well, I've seen Bill and Ted. And the aberrant like bears down on your duplicate shield, basically. Marks a condition. That thing will need to mark a condition.
All right.
You can take that condition as part of the ability, I believe. You can take that condition yourself.
Okay.
If you wish to. It's physical condition.
Okay.
Or
Just
the
one?
duplicate or the duplicate can take it, and if you reduce it to nothing, then it just disappears.
The duplicate will take it, and Rampart will go, Bodhi, no!
So you let's see. That's top of the order. Who's next?
I'm gonna keep it with our SAV program. Rampart, you're a heavy hitter.
You do not lay hands upon my brother. It's bogus. And Rampart will bring the wave splitter down on monster number 2 on our second apparent.
Okay.
Taking the extra die from fighting, so I'll get 4.
Target number 7. Body check.
2 8s, a 3, and a 4, so 2 hits.
2 hits. Tell me how you want to kill it, because that's what you just did.
The wave splitter like spins twice in his hand, and he one-handed brings it down on the what he thinks is the head of this thing.
Well, it's kind of all head.
Mouth is, yeah.
Eat wave, and the blade comes down, and just again, it's almost like the front of the blade like kind of splits into a large wave form, and it just like whoa, like through the middle of it, and it just splits this thing in two, and then the thing just kind of falls apart. It splits, and then like the pieces like just.
Yep. And all the pieces then start vibrating, briefly for a few seconds, and go poof, and they just explode in a ball of shrapnel, and that's going to be you and your duplicate. And who else is right up there? I think
That would be me.
anybody's
I think
up
all
there.
of us.
You'll be honest. Roll me a target number 6 body check.
All right.
Keep from
I'll
getting
roll for myself and for the duplicate separate.
shrapneled.
Or does the duplicate just take it?
Oh, the duplicate. Yeah, the duplicate will just take it, and you can take. Well, I have a feeling you're probably going to disappear the duplicate after this, but.
Yeah, I would say the explosion probably the duplicate will take the brunt of it and just kind of disappear.
Disappear, sure. Works for me.
Later, Bodhi!
I did not succeed.
I also did not succeed.
I
Anybody
did
who
not succeed.
Oh my gosh, everybody.
No, 6 actually managed to do the bat. She got her bat spinning into a glitter shield in front of her, and when the glitter falls and everybody else is wounded, she's like, "You guys really need to learn how to dodge."
Everybody who failed can mark a physical condition. That would probably put at least one of you into one of the.
I'm at exhausted.
Is anybody at injured?
No, I don't. Yeah,
Okay, the duplicate disappeared, and then I've only taken 1 physical so far. So
Okay, so if you okay, so nobody's at injured yet. For the record, when you get to injured or broken, or fearful or detached, where there's a negative there, that's a negative to dice for all trait checks.
Okay.
Of course, you only if you get reduced to 1, or if you get reduced below 1, you always still roll 1. You never just run out of dice. So it's mostly going to hamper you with like higher traits.
Yeah. I do have a question because I took that body bleed from that overload. Am I marked on a condition track myself, or?
Not specifically, no. It's just
Okay.
you feel pain, like it's
Okay.
just like you can determine what that means. Like, is it like you just have joint pain? Like, I'm old and my joints hurt all the time. Do you get flare-ups of pain from certain activities? Do you have just like a numb, like a pins and needles sort of feeling all the
Pins
time?
and needles, probably.
Yeah, it can be a variety of things, but it's one of these things that just it colors your perception of things. It reminds you that you are afflicted in a way, that you are dealing with this glitch, and it's not going to go away unless you actually, in the game, you can use when you advance your character, you can buy glitches off. by fixing yourself. But for the time being, at least, you are dealing with pain. And as you're wrapping all of this up, one of your bits comes flying back at it and is going, no, 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 no. And it starts to kind of just keep doing no, 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 and keeps, like, starts to draw away from you, like it's going somewhere.
All right, lead the way.
Hang on, Mr. Z. The thing vomited up a gold box for you. Do you want? And she picks it up and throws it to him. You left it on the ground.
I look at it. What is this?
That's a juice box.
Ooh.
It's a repository of juice that
Nice.
is outside of yourself. Like, you as a program, you are able to store a certain amount of juice in your form, but there are ways for you to carry more, and this is one of them. Now, transferring that juice into you is not a super fast kind of thing. You can basically do like one a round, but if anybody wants to... Now, I'm going to give everybody a juice just for the scene, for coming in here and deftly saving the refugees here from what are referred to in the game as shredders. Nobody quite got a chance to... for the record, after about a minute, all the remains of these shredders, all the exploded remains of them, kind of de-res and disappear. Like, they leave no bodies behind. And this is also what happens to programs when they die. After about a minute, they just and fade out, and they're gone. The bit and you don't have to, for the record, the juice box is not an all or none thing. Like, you can put some in, you can take some out. Like, you could share it for all intents and purposes.
Z, do you have some extra straws?
Well,
I wouldn't mind a hit from that juice box.
please take it. I pass it over.
It can hold as much as 5. It's currently got 4 in it for juice. Isn't that perfect? There's 4 of you.
Rampart will literally, like, kind of snap his fingers, and like a little, like, Capri Sun bendy straw appears, and he just, like, he pokes it into the top of the juice box.
I'm interrupting. It takes you 5 tries.
Come on, and he, like, you see him try to straighten it. Come on, and then the last one, and then you hear a success, and then.
Too bad we don't have time.
This tiny gold box in this giant guy's hand, like.
I think we are moving on, but yes, everybody sip up. No, I feel awful that we can't clean this mess up, but...
Meanwhile, Packet is starting to follow one of her bits.
I'm following you.
You come to a group of programs that are huddled around hold on, where are we? Proc, which is in the game one of the more humanoid-looking of the programs, the ones that are kind of multicolored as opposed to the Avs who are silver. The Avs are, kind of think of the Avs in their natural form as being very much like T2, like Robert Patrick, liquid metal kind of stuff. And this proc is questioning one of the other programs, actually questioning Flinch, the wreck. And you overhear, as you approach, you overhear them saying, "And where did they go? Did anybody see them go?" And you pick up from the assembled crowd that there has been an abduction, that in the midst of all of this, 2 programs, maybe 3, hard to be sure because people are trying to account and see if all their friends are there. 2 programs have gone missing.
What in the world? Excuse me. I was wondering, I'm talking to the group, who took them?
Um, the proc turns around, says, "Hello, I'm Gren. I'm like sort of the leader here, I guess. I was among the first. We don't know who took them for sure, who they were, why they came, but they didn't look like any of us. They didn't look like a program. They were, I've been told, well, they looked like," and he points at Six. "Looked like you, but made from their forms. Their construct was made of many different materials, different shapes. It looked almost patched together from pieces."
Six is standing there chewing some gum, looking off into the distance and just kind of twirling her hair. What did I do?
Not you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on a second. I'm going to spend a juice and reskin myself back to my public persona. So, like, there's this disc of light that appears above her head, and it just goes, and then her normal, like, shiny chrome skin, the bat goes away and everything. She's like, I'm sorry. You were saying they were obviously not as pretty, but they were made up of patchwork programs.
Pieces of many things. Yes, like the arms were not the same shape and size. The plates, planks, and panels that made up their construct seemed to be bowing and flexing and under some sort of stress. They were monstrous.
Their chakras were totally out of alignment.
Alright.
I kind of like, think for a moment. Would either collapse or system knowledge tell me anything about these creatures?
Is
it possible
yeah,
I've
let's
ever
give
heard
you
anything like that?
Yeah, let's go with system knowledge.
All right.
Make a mind check, target number 7 with advantage for system knowledge.
All right.
Alright. Well, Zipper's doing that. I have view thoughts 2.0. I'd like to get this proc's thoughts. Just delve a little into them.
And I did get one success.
Okay. He's describing a Trojan, which is an aberrant, but it's not a mindless killing machine. It is a thing that has an agenda. It's not always known what that agenda is.
Oh my. It's an aberrant program, yes.
They are able to create gateways between places. Know that much. Hackett. Is there what's the ability in?
View thoughts at the 2.0 upgrade. So I can size him up, and on a success, I can just kind of view his thoughts, and I can get a secret from him. So, what would you like me to roll for that?
Let me double check something here. Mind check, target number 6. Kind of, you're talking with Gren a little bit, kind of getting a feel for them, trying to figure out, like, are they on the up and up? Is there something you're not telling you? Are they being honest? Is this all they have?
An 8, a 5, and a 6. So that's 2 successes.
So 2 hits gets you, and you get a secret. Gren is telling you what they know. They're not entirely. They seem conflicted in. The thought running through their head is like, eyewitnesses are telling me a couple of different things, so I'm just trying to, like, this seems what I think I've got this right. I think I've got this all right. Like, and this just speaks to, like, different people will have the slightly different recollections of the exact same event, just colored by where they were, what they saw, how they were feeling at the time, their relationship with the people involved, all that sort of thing. Secret thought, they are thinking, where the hell is QWERTY? QWERTY must be behind this.
If I can draw Gren off, I do want to, because I don't want to ask him that in front of other people, but I do want to ask him about that. Like, who is QWERTY?
Who's QWERTY? You can, after everything sort of calms down, you can find a moment to. I mean, it takes a little bit of time because everybody's got questions for Gren, like, what are we going to do? Are we in danger? And Gren does the best that they can to kind of assuage everybody's concerns. It's fairly clear that Gren is not prepared for leadership. He's not prepared to deal with these particular sorts of questions, and he's not in his element.
I'd like to help him out if I can while he's dealing with that. I'm not sure what I'd be able to use. I do have noticing things.
There's no huge downside to it. It's just a matter of kind of answering everybody's questions and calming them down, and just in time.
Okay.
So just, anybody who wishes to help in time, you are. And a few people, a few of the programs take note of you and come and check to see if you're all right as well, because there were people. I keep wanting to say people. This is a tough game. There were programs who saw you rush into the fight and save everybody over there, and you get a few folk who are asking you questions about that and making sure you're all right as well. Anybody who wants to can spend. We never really. Okay, I'll do this. Everybody, assume you have one skill marked if you don't already. You can perform first aid on yourself. You can heal off one of those conditions by taking the time to patch yourself up and spending a skill. Unmark a skill. So the more often you use that, over time, you'll heal and get better as well, and there's other ways to do it with upgrades and so forth, but the immediate right now first aid sort of thing takes skill. So the more often you get into situations where you become very injured and need to do that, the harder it is for you to advance your character.
So we get a skill right now, Craig?
Everybody mark a skill if you didn't already have one, just that way if anybody wants to first aid themselves right now, they can. We'll give you that. We'll give you one for the one shot.
Rampart will
Yeah.
tend to his wounds.
Given that this is a one shot, I imagine everybody's going to do that unless you have a penchant for playing an injured character, which is fine if you want to do that. You manage to get Packet. You manage to get Gren kind of off away from everybody, and they look exasperated by all of this, and clearly overwhelmed, trying very hard to hide that, but kind of once they're away from everybody else with you, their facade drops, and they are.
Hey. Take it easy. You're doing great.
No, everybody assumes that I can do this because I was here first and other people arrived and they all introduced me as their leader, and I'm not a leader. I mean, I got lucky. I came upon this place and discovered that it was fine. QWERTY was here before me.
Who is QWERTY?
QWERTY is let me write that. The brow, and brows are four-legged. They're kind of four-legged, two-armed. They have big spherical heads where they project their face on the inside of the sphere. They are parts of browser and search programs and things like that. QWERTY was here initially with some other programs when my friends and I arrived, and I have not seen them for some time, and I'm concerned. QWERTY leaves sometimes and comes back, seems to be able to handle themselves fairly well, and I'm not normally worried, but I've gotten the feeling that they're up to something, and I just don't know what it is.
Thank you for that. Um, when was the last time you saw them?
Earlier today, they were making their way around, talking to the refugees. Spent a lot of time with Violet. And Argus. Separately. Got into long conversations with each of them. At least I noticed that. I wasn't following them. I just noticed that now Violet and Argus are missing.
And those are the two that are missing?
Those are the two. Argus is a proc. Violet is a Pix. A Pix being like basically a floating cube with arms and a face. They are modeler and graphics programs. Can create things out of nothing. They can fly.
So, and player question: Violet and Argus are the two that were abducted.
Yes.
Okay. And there's a possible third. Would that be Curity, or would that be a different person?
Ren says, I think people might be talking about QWERTY too. It's hard to tell. There was so many voices all at once. They were all asking what to do. There may be somebody else. I didn't catch a name anywhere in the discussion.
Okay.
Everybody that was talking about this they all had different versions of the stories. Like how do Savs manage to deal with any problems when everyone can lie, and everyone, even when they're telling the truth, they might all be telling a different truth?
I'd say ask Rampart, but that might not be the best idea. I don't think he's got a thought in his head. But no, you're doing fine. For somebody who's thrust into this position.
Packet, are you still standing away from the group?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, if you're close enough to hear, you're close enough to hear me gently ribbing you.
No, that's what I was curious. If you were standing away, then Rampart has nothing to say. But if you were standing within the group, then Rampart might have had something to say. But we're good. You're good.
Rampart can have something to say.
Yeah.
Anything that brings more roleplay, I'm good.
You just hear kind of in a quiet voice, you know, I can hear you, yo.
And with that, all of you experience something you have never experienced before. You are suddenly unable to move. You're standing in the position you were in, can't move. You are, however, cognizant of what's going on in front of you. You can't move your eyes, but you can look in the direction you were always you were looking at that moment. So if you were looking off to the side, you're looking off to the side. If you're looking straight ahead, you're looking straight ahead. Packet, you're probably looking at.
I was looking at Gren.
And everything stops and freezes. Those of you who like the bits and the bot are still floating around, they stop as well, including the bits in the air. They just halt in the air. They don't fall to the ground. And all of you stop, and time passes. You can feel the passage of time. This is not like a momentary thing. You can feel it drag on, and it takes a little while. It passes. The time passes, and you are stuck in stasis in this frozen position. And that's where we're going to take a little break, I think.
All right.
All right, everyone. Well, we'll step away for a moment, and we will be back in 10 minutes. See y'all right back here. Well, hi, everybody, and welcome back to our marathon for the Independent Game Designer Network. And this is for the GoFundMe, which is for their diversity sponsorship. If y'all have been watching, hopefully you know about what all is going on. But for the most part, we're just asking people to go to the GoFundMe and be sure to donate there. Don't spend money or channel points here. I'll go ahead and drop the link in. Costs of everything is on the screen in the rotating marquee there in the center, so be sure to watch and let us know if you'd like to get anything. But before we left, we had a purchase that I'm going to go ahead and do now to the best of my ability. Reciting for, I believe it was Amir Nugget, requested this poem be read. So, Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles, though the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairie and the deep trees, the mountain and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clear blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things. So, thank you, Stevie, for purchasing the poem, and thank you for
Yeah.
supporting this.
Thank you.
Definitely, thank you.
I noticed that we do have some donations that have happened in the first half of this game, reminding everybody that Nerdburger Games will match all donations up to $200 in this game. So make me pay $200 by putting your $5 in, and a bunch of you put $5 in, and next thing you know, we're at 200. But I know that I believe, looking at it real quick there in the break, that we're not there yet, but we can do it, right? Can help,
we got this.
We can help some game designers find all sorts of resources that will help them bring their awesome games to the world, so that we can all play them on the next charity stream or whatever it is that Nerdburger decides to do. I mean, it's a self-perpetuating thing. We can just keep rolling.
I mean, I will say that over the next 2 months, so in November and December, we will have 3 more games coming from members of the Independent Gaming Design Network. So, guys, please check them out and support
Definitely. Looking forward to them.
Is that everything? We're good? Everybody ready to go?
I think so, yeah.
Yep, we're ready.
Everybody, pause. After what seems like who knows how long, an hour, a little more, a little less, the world starts up again. You begin to move, you can see, you can move, you can talk, and each of you kind of stumbles into kind of completing whatever it was you were just about doing. Anybody who was kind of walking somewhere or turning your head to look, your body just comes alive and continues to do that thing. And you look around and you see all the programs here in Brick are reacting to suddenly coming to from this this catatonia that you've all experienced. Those of you who know the stories of this area of the system, what you just experienced now, that sounds like what the area that is called Brick once was. Like the whole area was like that. Nothing would function within it. Were stories of programs that went in to try to explore and figure out what the problem was, what was going on. They had to go in with batteries affixed to them because they couldn't access the normal power. And they didn't find anything so far as you know. But there's something about this area that it works and then it doesn't work, and then it works and then it doesn't work, and it looks like it's working again. And that's where all of you are, along with the abductions that just took place and poor Gren trying desperately to find their footing in becoming a leader if they can.
So, Craig, to be clear, we realized that we were stopped, or we do
Yes.
not realize we were stopped.
You realize
Okay.
you were stopped. Time passed. You felt it
Okay.
pass. And if it had lasted for a very, very long time, it may very well have scarred you in some way. But it was not terribly long, an hour-ish. But it like that time passed. You were alone with your thoughts for that period. All of your bits regroup themselves and go back to wherever you keep your bits. I imagine you have some sort of handy little pouch, or maybe they magnetically stick themselves to your back or your belt or your forehead, or I don't know, wherever they go.
There's a little pouch,
There you go.
like on her back.
Well, they just stack up like a unicorn horn.
No.
The pouch is large enough to hold 8 bits, and it's called a byte.
Nice.
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 Still designing.
Well, you can get the expanded ones that hold 1024, and that's a kilobyte, and
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of bits.
it's warm.
Did anyone else? Did anyone else feel like somebody pressed pause?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
It was like a weird intermission, but I couldn't get a drink.
Like I was alone with my thoughts, and my thoughts were, wow.
Okay.
I don't want to know.
That wasn't the... Okay, it was a bad experience. But is it bad enough that this community needs to move?
Well, I think the more urgent problem is the missing programs.
Agreed,
Yeah.
but I feel like before we go, we should recommend that they prepare themselves, because this does not sound safe. In fact, if it happens again, it could harm them, right?
I mean,
Heck,
it seems. Go ahead.
Sorry. Packet, is there anything you can tell us about the area? Has it become unstable? I don't hear that metronomic click in the air that signifies a failing sector.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my code, or would it be code scanner or system jack, to just check the area health?
System jack. You need to be, basically hooked into the network.
The
to
way
monitor the whole, different parts of the system and everything. But you could code scan the area to see if there's anything anomalous.
the way System Jack 1.0 is worded is that I can do it wirelessly.
That's correct.
Okay.
If you are within,
Okay.
like a reasonable distance of some sort of terminal, and there is no terminal here.
Okay. Then
So
I am going to.
you wander too far away from your Wi-Fi, you're stuck.
All right. Then that would.
The skin.
Code scanner. Mine. So that's 4. Take it over to my dice roller.
Yeah, mind check target number 6 to scan the area and see what you can find. Anything anomalous, anything... we're focusing your earlier scan on programs, but now you're kind of looking at the area, the region.
Yeah. And you said the target number was 5?
6.
Or 6. Okay, so 1 success.
You...
With an 8.
One hit, Mark Juice. For that, you, the whole region. Now that you kind of scan around the whole region and take readings, in all directions, you come to the realization that everything here is in a state of flux. You're not actually receiving power from the system continuously. What's happening in here, we've been describing it and thinking of it as either things function here or they don't. Either everything is fine or everything is frozen. What's happening is the connection from this area to the rest of the system for the purposes of power flow through here. And all of you and your code scanner and the bot and everything else being able to operate properly is mostly continuous, but there's little micro hiccups happening. There's something that's still not quite accurate and not quite continuous and perfect about the system and its relationship with receiving power from, or this area and it receiving power from the greater system. So, it's the equivalent of you're watching, you're streaming TV show and there's that momentary it it pauses for a second and then it buffers and it catches up, but it's happening so quickly that you're not noticing it. Like you're actually experiencing tiny micro pauses in activity, but it's imperceptible.
Until that big lag spike just happened.
Well, it may have been happening before, but it's certainly happening now. Earlier, you weren't looking to the region and trying to determine anything about it. You were looking at programs, so you weren't really digging deep on.
But we just got hit by like a huge lag spike.
Right, there was a big lag, but there's like all these
Right.
little micro lags that are happening too that you just don't feel because everything just kind of mostly continues.
Otherwise, we'd all be talking like max headroom.
Now there'd be a little stutter, a little stitch in your movements and in your speech and everything.
Now,
kind of like how I talk a little bit some of the time anyway, where I get caught up on stuff.
Wasn't gonna say it. Wasn't gonna call you out.
Cold.
We all do that.
It's cold in the system today.
Is this something that can be fixed, or is this something that requires us to tell them to get out of here?
I don't know yet.
Well, let's see. Let's see about these kidnapped people.
They need our help first. Can I tell if the hiccups, those little micro hiccups, are fairly regular in a pattern, or are they just like random, no cycle to them at all?
They are regular.
There's
a rhythm. There's a regular rhythm. There's a certain number of cycles, seconds, microseconds, whatever, in between each one, and they're equidistant.
Okay, so a wave more than or a frequency more than a rhythm.
You suspect that this rhythm is trackable. Like if the signal, if whatever's causing this is coming from a source, it will either get faster or slower depending on how you're moving relative to the source.
Rampart will sit down and fold his legs, cross-legged style, and kind of put his elbows out, his little three-fingered hands kind of poke up like this, and you hear like some like low chanting. Like low.
Rampart, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm totally offering some vibes out to the motherboard to try to maybe free up some processing speed and some memory for this area. It's totally worth it. Like the energies in this place are all off, and I thought maybe offering some prayers might, I don't know. I mean, it's worth a shot.
Wouldn't hurt, no.
Gotta align your circuits.
I'm going to get out my summonable bits, not my messenger bit. Can I get them to trace it? To triangulate?
You're getting the what?
My bit 2.0 bits out. Gonna spin the juice for them and send them on a trace, if I can.
They don't really have capability of doing that sort of thing, but you could. I mean, you could just, you could use the code scanner and walk around and start figuring out like where does the interval start to get more pronounced or less pronounced. This packet has turned into the tracker of the group.
Code scanner. Zipper, do you think this would be related to the disappearances, the abductions? It's entirely possible.
It could be. I wonder if it were me, and I'm certain that this other program may have become aware of this issue. I'm this very confused as to why these aberrant, showed up. What do they gain here? I think our primary thing is to find the kidnap victims.
Yeah.
And however we do that, we don't have any other way to follow them. They can move by opening portals. Following this signal might be the best way to do it, right? If it is related.
Potentially. Yeah, I think that's our best bet for right now. 6, Rampart. What do you two think?
I mean, whatever we can do to get the flow working again. I mean, it's all about the flow of energy, right? I mean, and if we can find these people, then maybe get these people relocated here and find them a new place to, bed down.
Mm-hmm.
People here are losing hope, and if we don't find these missing people, they'll never find that hope and joy in their lives again. We've got to do whatever we can.
And hope is like righteous, man.
Yeah.
I mean, programs are built on hope.
All right. Hey, 6. You're
Also
going to
ones and zeros, but yes, hope is in there too.
Hey, six has a one mind, and it's pretty much, about its music, or depending on bashing things. So it's, a thing. So
Yeah. Speaking of music, Packet is going to take one of 6's hands with 6's permission and kind of tap out the frequency that got picked up. Like, keep your senses open for this one.
I mean, it has a wonderful beat, but I don't think I could dance to it. Does it sound familiar at all?
It's literally just a steady beat. Slow. It's but that's like at every boom. It's when there's like this micro gap.
Okay.
Flow.
Hopefully I don't drive myself crazy now that I'm aware of it.
It's got Zipper. You're a super mind program, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mind 4. I'm going to say that if you concentrate very hard, once you know that this rhythm is there, and you're going to be looking for those little micro pauses that everybody's going through because of the power getting cut very brief periods of time. That if you really pay attention, if you're putting your action toward it, no checks required, but you can sense that happening in people, so you can up this rhythm of micro pauses in the system connectivity, because you're so smart, and because your mind score is so high, and mind is also partly your senses.
Yeah.
So you have to observe somebody in the process. Like, you have to see other people. You have to be watching other people to see where the pauses happen in their action.
Would it be possible? I have my character has a personal battery.
That'll keep you running if you hook it up to yourself.
Yeah.
If you could hook it up to yourself and have it ready to toggle.
Mm-hmm.
If something happens that turns everybody off, and the battery will turn you, will power you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, was find a way to hook that up so that like a battery backup, essentially.
You mentioned that to the rest of us, John?
Yeah, I'll mention it.
Oh,
Got a battery.
I also have one of those. I use it to take care of my Cambot, but if you think that would help us.
Means I'm going to need to find one myself, unfortunately.
Well, at the very least, we'll be able to observe.
Well, there's 4 of you. There's 2 batteries. You could two people could plug into one battery, and as long as they stay close to one another, like basically the length of the cord. You could have two people. You would only be able to run half as much time on a battery, but you could you can have two people be powered by a battery. So you've got the capability to keep all four of you running if you pair off and keep close to one another.
I'll stay with Rampart.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't really jive with those artificial energy sources, man. Yeah, I prefer my energy to come right from the motherboard, you know. But I mean,
Would you rather shut down?
I mean, any board in a storm, right?
You could also not Zipper. You could also not plug him in, and then when he gets shut down, you could just plug him in.
Yeah.
He can't stop you.
Yeah.
Whoa, a righteous plug from the motherboard.
And that's probably what that packet will suggest. Six, like, let's keep us separated for now, unless I shut down. Then help.
Yes, completely. Do not fear. We will take care of you.
Okay, so
You have my word.
No, this was the perfect opportunity for Six to do a whole. You gotta keep them separated.
Two of you with batteries are going to just have them handy, have them on fail safes for yourself. Like if something happens, boom, it'll just kick on for you, and then you can go and plug into somebody else if you find yourself needing to do so. And you have a means to track the signal. Actually, two means to track the signal. So between the two of you, no checks required. It's trial and error. You just both keep kind of checking and comparing with each other, and you discover that the signal does in fact intensify when you head in a particular direction. And you would venture that the closer you get to the source of this, what's causing this, and the closer, the signal will be stronger, and the glitches will be like tighter together. Opposite way. Sorry. Like the closer you are to the source, the further apart the glitches will be. Because the glitches are the negative, right? Like the situation will be better closer to the source of what's ever causing all of this. So just go with me. I've got it in my head. I hope it makes sense. Because we're thinking in very abstract terms. And so the point is that you can kind of like, we head that direction. It's like there's something that's the thing that is affecting this, that is doing this, or that is connected to whatever this power problem is that away. And the group of you can go check that out. Were you doing anything with your bits or bot before you depart? Or are you just bringing them with you?
Bringing them with me. I'm letting them kind of be extra sensory things if they can. Like if they notice something, like just dunk me and get my attention.
The bot can do the best job it can to kind of keep an eye out for stuff. It's really meant for it's better suited to performing tasks that are physical tasks. The bits can essentially like if something is about to like drop on you and you don't notice it, they'll probably no. They'll light up and start flipping out. They've done that before.
Yeah.
So the group of you starts making your way. Go ahead.
Oh, we have a Dot paid $10, which $10 donation is a health boost for someone. And then we have coming in from Lou Walking is a hard test or mob from Craig and a system point for all players. So.
Okay. Is anybody in need of any sort of healing? Anybody not first aid?
I wouldn't mind because I'm technically down 3 points right now.
Ooh.
Conditions?
Yeah.
Well, 3 physical in conditions. Yes.
Ignore the first 2 boxes if they have a blank next to them.
Okay.
You only get those boxes if you have an upgrade or something that gives you additional health.
Well then
you
actually
normally start marking at exhausted and working your way
crap, you're broken.
Okay.
I am broken, so I would love a point of healing.
Yes.
So,
I have recently bolded the sentence that talks about that in the rules. I think this is the version you got didn't have that because I've had other people, and also like it's a one shot, so people aren't necessarily reading the rules top to bottom.
I also have a ready patch, which should, I believe, does healing. Is that correct? Craig, I didn't write it down, but I swear that was what it was for.
That is correct. It'll heal, and it's the quick version of heal too. So like, it would be handy if you want to heal up completely right now. You can do that, or it would be good like it's one of those things that you can do right in the middle. Like first aid it takes time.
Okay.
Or resting takes time, but that's one of those things that you can fix and patch somebody up right in the middle very quickly. Right in the middle.
I'd say six notices that that Zipper's coming undone a little bit, and she'll walk up behind him. It's like, you don't need to be brave for us, stout fellow. And she smacks ready patch onto his forehead. Feel the power of the system cleanse you.
And between that and the donation, I think that takes you back to just exhausted.
Yep.
Okay.
Zipper, man, some of your code is showing.
I'm terribly sorry. And adjust a little.
If you could tuck that away, man, we'd appreciate it.
Rampart, there's nothing shameful about his code.
Oh no, man, code's all natural.
Do not code shame, my friend.
The bot, since we got to drop a mob here, and we got like less than an hour and all this, so we're gonna do this quick and dirty right now. The bot that you have with you, which I gave you because of a donation, and which served you well.
Oh
helping
no!
Get people out of the bot goes just off the deep end. It starts glitching and screaming and running around, and it starts attacking you.
No! No! Dot! No!
Oh no!
Packet, your turn. Buddy, target number. It is frenzied. It is a target number 8, hardest target number in the game.
With my one body.
Yep.
Nope.
Target condition as it tears into you. Who's next?
I'll help. I'll try. Stop that! Stop that! And I'm just slapping at it in the air.
Target number 8.
Hey! I got an 8 and a 7 on my body check, so that's at least one success.
And you... you're with just fists here, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you get up there with... and you hit it like right in the off switch. And it fizzles, and it just goes, and it falls over and rolls onto its kind of on its side, one of its little arms up in the air, one of its little arms down on the ground, and it's non-operational, but it's done its damage. It was very difficult. I was kind of hoping it was going to go around and all of you were going to miss for a round, really make this bot super deadly, but you got it. Well done, Zipper.
Way to go, Z-Man.
And so I'm going to do this as we gear up toward where we're headed here. I'm going to throw this out there too. We've dealt with a couple of fights where it's mostly relegated to body checks. People have been making attacks, and that's fine. But to shine a light on the roll track system, which started with Good Strong Hands and has been used in Nowhereville and now this game, the way that any challenge works is there's not hit points, so to speak. There's a challenge rating for any challenge that you're up against, whether that is like a social challenge or a mental challenge or a combination kind of thing, or a fight, or that is to say a challenge with a physical foe of some sort. And that challenge rating has 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 boxes. You can do basically anything you can think of that makes sense for the purposes of that challenge to check those boxes and overcome the challenge. So if you got into a fight, you could have had Rampart swinging a sword. One of you could have been trying to like a packet. If you had been successful in distracting and making that check with the glitter, that would have distracted and made it less likely to hurt you, and it would have counted as a success. It would have
each hit is checking off a box.
Hit whatever the trait check is checking off a box, and then whatever the last one is, that's kind of what decides. Like, well, if your charm check to intimidate it was the last one to get it, then that means it runs away. It's intimidated and takes off. So it becomes a question of like how you know everybody contributes in lots of different ways, and then who kind of finishes it, and that's what causes the actual story. Like, you know, do you deactivate it? Do you trick it? Do you intimidate it? Do you whatever?
Cool.
So
Makes sense.
you go off and start making your way, tracking. We are now in the final hour of our show. Keep those donations coming, everybody. I want to spend $200 today.
Please.
And you start tracking the signal, and you're getting closer and closer and closer. You come upon now you're traveling across like a landscape that is like the old Battlefield game, where it's like you're a ways into the collapse here. So the what was once like actually kind of rolling surfaces of planes and things is now like all polygons, and like, you know, it's angled, you know, like you walk up an angled piece and then you go down another angled piece and then you walk across a flat piece and
And like kind of jagged.
Yeah, not jagged to that, but like there's definite edges to things. Like it's all flat surfaces with edges that you're making your way across. And up ahead you see a bit of a rise where these kind of polygon shapes, these angled surfaces take you up, and there's a spire, like a big constructed machine. It's cylindrical with all sorts of bits and pieces hanging off of it, bits and pieces that are made out of a lot of different things. They look like they were cobbled together. It looks like this whole thing has been kit bashed from a lot of different parts. It's kind of got the shape, although it's like 3 times as high, of like a moisture evaporator from Star Wars. You know, that cylindrical big thing with the little spiky towery points, you know, little pointy antenna bits at the top, and there's a little control terminal down at the bottom. 10 feet up it, there's a platform that circles it. And on this platform, shackled to the sides of this machine, are a proc and a pix, and there are glowing blue like armbands, shackles that are holding them to the machine, and you can see the color. If you've seen the Kickstarter page, if you've seen the book, anything like that, these, you know, the programs are all very colorful. It's a very colorful world. Their colors are ever so muted, like the colors just slightly draining out of them. And the two of them are both sort of lolling. They're not really paying attention to what's going on there. They're not noticing you, not noticing anything. And at the base, at the terminal of this thing, is a brow. It's a proc and a pix up there. There's a brow, and there's this creature, this 2-legged, 2-armed thing that is made out of a lot of different pieces. Looks like it's been cobbled together. It looks very similar to this tower, but in moving form. And the two of them are arguing with each other from a distance. And you can all, if you wish, give me mind checks. You kind of come around a little bit of a corner, just, you know, before they have spied you or anything. You notice this. This is a sense-based check. So if you have like a specialty in noticing things, you can get advantage. Target number 7.
7. Let me see if I can hit 7 with my 1 die.
Here I am.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I have a 4 mind. I rolled a 1, a 1, a 2, and a 5.
It'll happen.
No. Oh.
That'd
I
be a
got an
4
8.
for Rampart. Packet appears to be on the ball.
Yeah, it's a 4 for 6, so it's up to Packet to save us all. Make it better.
I rolled a 1, a 5, a 4, and an 8. So
Okay, so you got 1. The two of them are arguing about the brow is saying, well, we're going to need more. This is clearly not going to keep everything running properly. This is not going to this machine. Its programs far too quickly. We need to make it more efficient, and we need to get more programs to power this thing. And if you are led to believe the correct thing, the Trojan that is standing next to it is speaking in a language that you don't really understand, but it's like it's very electronically. It's almost like this just growls in electronic synthesizer noises, and it's its whole face is lighting up and pulsing with, in rhythm to what it's saying, and they're having an argument. Now you hear that. The rest of you come walking around the corner and like, I can't hear. Maybe if I get a little closer. I can't hear. Maybe if I get a little closer. And they notice you.
I can't stop him in time.
so now they're no longer talking about what they were talking about. But that's what you caught.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna, I think, dive into sequence here.
With that successful thing, I don't suppose I can activate my detect thoughts on the Trojan, which might not be the best idea. It'll be entertaining though.
Yeah, you absolutely can. And we'll have you go first. That's one of the things. That's usually the way I handle it. Like sometimes the group will decide like who wants to go first for something. Like especially if you have time to plan and everything. When I'm running, usually it's just like whoever pipes up first with like the thing that's gonna set it off. In this case, it's Packet.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tie between Packet detecting thoughts and the rest of the party going, "Let's get closer." Apparently. So now, Packet, few thoughts. Do you want me to go ahead and make that another mind check, or would that success
yeah,
from the last one?
this will be a mind check. Target number 7 against this thing.
And I don't think I have anything that'll give me an advantage on that one. I have an 8. So
An 8. All right. So and you've got the version 2.0, so you're going to get a secret.
Mm-hmm.
This will be fun. Well, first of all, go ahead and mark yourself a stress condition.
Right.
As the thoughts that you are bombarded with are many and sundry and overlapping with each other, and it just overwhelms your mind very quickly. They boil down to I think I know how to do that. We can do that. We can kill more programs. This is all like this is working perfectly. I'm really tired, but at the same time, also I'm very tired of this this stupid program. I think you might be the next on the platform. And the secret thought that's underneath all of it is, I'm not going to make this thing more efficient. I'm going to make it less efficient so that we have to steal more programs and sacrifice them to the machine faster.
All right.
And that's what this aberrant is looking to do.
All right. Yeah, that's the thing. If I can convey that to the party as efficiently as possible, I'm going to do so. So, yeah, that's...
Oh no.
They're
That's like Mondo Heinous.
training programs with that machine, but it's also what's keeping this area doing the machine. You've gleaned that the machine is what's keeping this area functional.
Yeah. Oh, this is going to be fun. I know what I'm doing on my next action, but since I've used up my action for this round, I'm going to pass it to Zipper.
Zipper, your turn. Cordy and the Trojan. Let's see. Oh yeah, they saw you, and in response to all of this, the Trojan flips some levers and presses some buttons on the terminal, and the machine starts to hum louder and louder and louder, and the two programs that are up there start screaming in pain.
All right. Gotta do something about the machine. I don't care about much else. I'll probably actually yell that out. I'll deal with the machine. You deal with that, whatever that is. And, goodness. I'm going to see if I can, just make my way there. Hopefully, Rampart can give me some backup, but I'm basically beelining it for that control panel or whatever.
Right. Well, we'll call that, you run over, you can climb up. There are ladders, like, to get these poor programs up there. There are, so you can get yourself up there. This is not D&D. There are no attacks of opportunity. So, like, you just bolt past them as they're kind of, like, they bicker with each other a little bit more. The Trojan fiddles at the control a little bit. The Brow gets angry and screams at you and shakes his fist. And you run up to try to help the programs. That's your movement. You can attempt to break one of them free from their shackles, or turn off the shackles, or do like whatever you can think of that would get them free, or ease their pain. That you could not break them free, but just help them to not be in pain.
I'm going to spend a juice for versatile.
Big power.
Huh?
Big ability. That's in the game. You'll notice that the juice expenditure usually are for the more powerful abilities.
I'm gonna bump my body up by 1 and try and get one of them off of there. Would that be what I need to use to get them down? Would be to pull them down, or am I trying to out-program it?
What do you want to do? You could try to out-program it. You could try to figure out how. I mean, you've got a high mind. You could try to figure out like, well, how do I turn these manacles off? How do I turn these?
Yeah, let's go for that.
Bindings off.
Can I actually push my mind past 4 with versatile programming? Nope. All right, so let's
maximum of 4.
Let's hold off on the juice expenditure then, and I'll just go for the mind.
Okay. You get up there and you can make a mind check. Target number 7 to. Now you're dealing with this machine that's made out of all these parts. It's not clear what's what. What's a switch? What's a button? What's part of the machine?
All right. That is a 5, a 2, a 7, and a 7.
You able to get one of the programs. We'll say the Pix. Who is you picked up was named Violet, and they are in fact purple. They are in fact violet colored, and you get them disconnected from the machine by finding the right way to turn that set of manacles off, and with that boon, you do it fast enough, and because they are Pix and they can float and fly, you can like give them a quick push and a pep talk and get them out of here, get them out of the way completely, because the Pix can fly right off the top of the platform and be on their way.
Awesome.
So the Pix is saved. Who's up next? Rampant or 6?
Let's go
Rampart, sorry.
with Rampart.
Part CERN.
Rampart yells out, "I'm on your tail, Z-Man. Let's take down this this bogus machine together." And let's see. I'm gonna spend a juice, and the installed sword, our wave breaker, pops into Rampart's hand as he's running toward the machine, bounding, and then he's going to actually chuck it at the machine itself.
Okay.
And this massive blade starts spinning from his hand, and with the juice expenditure, like, it starts to increase in size. Like, it doesn't get like twice as big, but you can actually see it like kind of voom, 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 and it like it pops up a little larger as it's spinning through the air to strike the item. I'd like to use massive if I can. It would give me an advantage on a trait check that would benefit from it, such as breaking an object.
Okay, sure. For it.
So I will add, and then I've got fighting as a specialty too. So do I get a die from massive and a die from fighting?
Well, you're fighting. You're not really fighting, because you're not you're destroying an object.
Okay.
And normally you can't gain advantage.
But I do have
twice.
I have athletics.
Well, you're getting advantage out of the massive.
Out of the massive. Okay.
And you can only gain advantage one time anyway.
Okay.
If you wanted to, you could spend a juice to gain an additional die. That's a different
do
thing.
that.
That's not advantage.
I will spend an additional juice. I had to spend a juice to activate the feature.
Ability. Yep.
Or sorry, I had to spend a juice to activate the installed sword upgrade.
You can spend all the juice you want if you've got enough actions and abilities.
Yes.
You can pile up.
I've almost reached an overload on juice, so I'll go ahead and spend some. That is
target number 7 to damage this thing in a way that's useful, because it's
I have 1817.
hard to tell what's a vital system.
1817, 2 6s and a 3.
817. That's you wreck this machine. All right.
The blade hits the machine with like this, no, the sound of a wave crashing. Like it's almost echoes through the air as this like, and the blade will kind of dissipate as it hits the machine, but it's definitely like in a big like splash of water and energy.
Okay. Blade hits, damaging a core system. Machine does not shut down completely. It is effectively neutralized. But here's what happens, because it's more interesting than just having you all pause and turn on your batteries. Machine slowly dies. It stops drawing power from the proc that is manacled to it, and that proc stops screaming. But they still look like they're in bad shape. Their color is lost, and they're clearly weak. The machine starts losing power, starts kind of draining and winding down. And as it does that, all of those micro pauses that you've been experiencing but not really been noticing, they start to become more noticeable. They become somewhat longer pauses that happen every so often. So you are in the movement equivalent of a strobe light, where you're functioning, and everybody, you and the baddies, are all functioning, but like all of you do a bunch of move, and then like there's this brief where everybody pauses, and then everybody continues, and then everybody stops. There's like these brief moments as the machine winds down, and those moments where you pause will become more regular and longer as the machine breaks down over the course of time here. And that's going to be Six's turn. Now you've got a kind of a strobe light effect going, like how everything looks like it's kind of stuttering in movement. You don't see continuous movement, which is, kind of your element.
100%.
You've been in a strobe light situation before.
Six steps up on a pile of debris, like in the classic rock and roll pose, and like thrusts a finger out at them and says, and I'm going to activate Button Pusher 2.0. I'm going to spend a point of juice to instill fear in them. Be like, we have been sent here to punish you for the damage you've caused to these good people. Flee now before we strike you down.
You hit a power cord and things light up. What else you got? This is final. Just visually,
I'm also gonna activate Light Show. So when the cord hits, there's this shaft of light that shoots up to the heavens, and it's just this power that she's bathed in a spotlight from above.
Excellent.
And the strings on your guitar aren't tied down to loss of power. So even as you all pause, the sound of the chord rings true. It never pauses itself, because the strings continue to vibrate no matter what.
Yep.
We'll just say, like, in the physics of this world, the strings there's no pickup, that needs to be powered. The strings just generate the sound in the physics of this world. So like everything's paused, and there's all these little gaps, but the just keep going, and you look awesome.
So how does that work? I'm basically trying to use like that fear ability to inflict conditions on them. Is that how that works?
Well, don't ever roll dice. I don't ever roll dice. Well, right. I don't ever roll dice. I deal with condition. I don't mark conditions. Like, okay. I'll mark a box for one of them for doing that. Also,
I get two. I do that to two of them because I spent the juice.
So we'll check a box for each one, and the added effect here will be on the next round as they recover from this. Oh my god. Everybody will have advantage against doing basically anything to them.
Okay.
As they sort of cower and put themselves in your mighty, mighty presence and spectacular power chord playing.
In this game, Craig, does advantage work as extra dice or
an extra die? Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And disadvantages lose a die. They can offset. You can have both, and they offset each other. And you can never have disadvantage from more than one source. You can never have advantage from more than one source, even if they are offsetting each other.
Thank you.
I think once that cord rings out and it's like echoing across everything, her cambot like comes around to film her, and it's like perched up next to Zipper, and like it's Zipper's turn now because obviously,
Okay.
it's a good
This
segue.
is like Cambot is getting concert footage, like concert battle, save the refugee settlement footage. It's just moving from person to person.
I'm gonna
It's
get
like
so many hits.
It's like the battle of not Winterfell, but the battle of at the Battle of the Wall, where they had that camera shot where it just tracked every major character.
Yep.
Over the course of like 3 minutes.
Totally picturing Cambot from MST3K. Just
That
so
is
you know.
Absolutely.
That is exactly who it is.
Yes.
You are correct.
Yes.
Robot roll call, my friend.
So, the other robot's still up on the pillar, correct? Or did they
Well,
get
they're both up on the rise, and they're both right next to the machine.
What?
Neither of them was up on the platform.
Yeah.
The proc that has been abducted is still up there and still
Yeah.
attached to the machine,
I'm-
and looking weak and yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get them down this time. So,
Okay. Now that you know a little bit more about the machine and the fact that it's malfunctioning, it's mind check target number 5 to get them freed.
all right.
A little easier than last time.
Well, I'm gonna be. Oh, great! So 5577. So I definitely am going to be taking a point there
It's gonna be
of
a
overload.
mark overload. Did you glitch?
Yeah, I just glitched.
That's good. That'll fill some time here as we're coming up on the end. Let's see. Roll me a die. Tell me whether you got odds or evens.
Even.
And then roll again.
Odd.
Well, what's the number?
7.
We're on the evens table. Number 7 is power decoupling. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Well, it was nice knowing you.
You occasionally freeze, sometimes at inopportune times. But you've got a battery currently. That kicks in because you immediately you freeze at this inopportune time, and your battery kicks in, and you're fine. If at whatever point you were to gain the up the glitch to version 2.0, you would require a battery all the time, because you are simply decoupled from the power of the system entirely. So you'd suddenly have to be somebody that carries batteries with you. But for the time being, the battery you have with you will keep you from pausing at inopportune times. That was fortuitous.
It was fun.
Yeah, you super did that. You can, with the boon, you can help them down.
Yeah, I'm getting them
safely.
down, definitely.
Get them away from the machine as it continues to wind down. Whose turn is it next?
It doesn't matter, but John, did you roll with advantage from my ability from earlier?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Oh, he wouldn't have got advantage because he was dealing with the machine, not the two.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But the machine is effectively okay. For the record, at this point, both of the programs are saved, and the machine is on its way out. So really, the threats here now are are QWERTY and the Trojan.
Sounds like a really bad opening band. QWERTY and the Trojan.
Put your hands together, and it's like 3 claps. Zipper, whose turn is it next?
I saw them in 1984 with the
It
Palladium.
It was awesome.
So we're down to.
Buddy, you were first this round.
I'm first this time. Oh well, thank you very much. Man, I'm gonna throw a curveball. Packet, let's go.
All right. Packet's gonna activate Messenger 1.0, which can create a bit that can deliver a three-sentence message anywhere, and return with a one-word answer. I don't need an answer for this, what I'm about to send, but I'm going to send Messenger 1.0 off to Grin, saying, QWERTY was working with the Trojan. Program sacrificed to an auxiliary power source. Evac and batteries now.
Okay. Very well. The bit goes flying off. It's going to take time to get there and come back.
Yeah, I don't need it to come back immediately. The primary thing is getting there.
Yep.
And then With that, I know that was my action, but I'm also going to try to get up to the platform myself.
Sure, you can move over there.
Yeah, because I know what I'm going to do next, and it's going to be fun if I could pull it off. Hopefully.
All right. Well, everybody keep that in mind for next round. Whose turn is it this round, though?
I'm going to go
Rampart
with
or 6?
I'm going to go with 6.
Okay. With the cord still ringing in the air, she's going to jump in the air and spend a juice to activate reskin again. And when she lands, she is in her battle form once again. Pigtails, platinum blonde pigtails flying, and she goes right at QWERTY. It's like, you can't take the power from this area. People needs it, and brings the bat down on him.
Body check target number 6.
1 hit.
1 hit on QWERTY. QWERTY is none too happy with you and looking to get the heck out of here if at all possible. So QWERTY starts like backing away from all of you and starts screaming to the Trojan, replicating that language that it was using. You can't understand. It's like this cacophonous, raspy synthesizer
Can't you just
sound.
speak basic like a normal program? My gosh.
And it's Rampart's turn. Oh, well.
Yeah, I would pass to Rampart.
Yeah, well, Rampart's last, but I feel like being a jackass to you, 6. So
no.
the Trojan
Perfectly fair.
duplicates itself. And give me a body check target number 7 as both versions of itself try to grab you.
Ugly.
I got an 8.
Okay. The duplicates do not manage to grab a hold of you, but now you are basically surrounded by 2 of this thing. And now it's Rampart's turn.
The spawning of the shield is my action, or is that
Only if it has an A in front of it, shouldn't be. Like usually,
Okay.
arming yourself isn't going to be an action.
wonderful?
Most of the special abilities you'll notice don't have an A.
Oh, okay.
Or after A in parentheses after the name means that it counts as your action, and usually those are abilities that do something really significant.
And
Most abilities just help you get to the trait checks.
who's directly in conflict with them right now? I believe is it 6 and Zipper are both like
Zipper's
in
up.
melee.
Zipper's gotten down there, and 6 is surrounded. 6 is in worse predicament.
Okay. I'm coming to that. And Rampart bounds over to 6, using the obviously the boogie board pops over the arm, kind of pushes their way into the group with 6, and then Rampart's going to use installed shield version 2. It's the upgrade to use the shield to shield 6 from conditions.
Okay.
Nice.
So as long as Rampart stays close by there, I believe that means that you can take
Yes,
the hits.
then yes. For the time being, Rampart will be taking the conditions that are inflicted on 6.
Physical conditions, yes?
Yes.
So anything stress-oriented, emotional, mental, still on 6. So that's the end of this round. The machine continues to power down, and at this point, all of you, like the pauses that you're all experiencing are going faster and faster. You have are becoming more and more pronounced, right? Except for Battery Boy over there.
and Battery Girl.
Yeah, that's true. Your battery kicks in and kind of keeps
Battery
going.
twins.
Battery Twins activate.
Battery
two of you-
besties. Battery besties.
Battery Besties. There we go.
Hashtag battery besties.
Yep.
The 2 of you who aren't on a battery, you have a choice. you can suffer disadvantage on every check that you undertake now, because like these pauses like discombobulate you and cause you to like kind of lose your momentum and train of thought and things. Or you can spend a juice for this round right now to have that not affect you.
I'm
and
going to spend
boost
the
your
juice.
concentration.
Yes, we'll also spend a juice. And Craig, I believe I should have noted this before, but my overload track got filled with my last hit, with my hit on the machine.
Which is
So yeah, I apologize. I did not
okay.
make that clear.
Roll me a die and tell me if it's odd or even.
All right. Come here, you.
Yeah, 99 glitches, but never mind.
And give me another die roll and tell me what the number is.
4.
Or mind bleed.
Oh.
Whoa! I'm like literally. I have the meme picture of that guy going.
You have a Slurpee headache, basically.
Okay. I'm gonna do this. Normally, you'd be able to read the whole thing and do this, but I'm gonna, for the fun of it here, because it's a one shot. Choose 2 of the following emotions: happiness, serenity, hope, gratitude, love, and amusement.
Ooh.
Happiness, serenity, hope, gratitude, love, and amusement.
Serenity.
There's no wrong answer.
We'll do serenity and amusement.
Serenity and amusement. You can no longer feel either of those emotions.
Oh,
You can never be at peace.
No.
You never find anything fun or entertaining.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh no.
Rampart.
No.
And who
Bummer,
went?
dude.
Was it Rampart last turn?
Yeah,
Rampart
went last.
Okay, so who goes next?
I think that took us to the opening, the top of the order. So
yeah.
we will go with Packet.
All right.
Kid's got
Well-
something up their sleeve.
Packet does have something up her sleeve. She got up onto the platform with the express purpose of, jamming herself in where the other 2 programs were, to at least abate for the time being the those pauses that are causing chaos. So, because she's got it.
Sacrificing your immediate well-being
Yeah.
to keep the machine sort of running a little bit, maybe at least at half power. Like people could actually escape, maybe slowly.
Could Packet use their battery to do that?
Packet does not have a battery.
Oh, sorry, that's right. Yep, I forgot the battery besties.
Because one of her anchors is resourceful, and it's like, oh hey, I just saw this thing go on. This is gonna hurt, but it's gonna, protect the community, which is one of her foci as well.
Okay. So we're gonna say this is what you do. You go up to where the sword strike was, and it broke a cable. That's one of the things that it damaged, was a cable. And so now you can hold both ends of the cable and complete the circuit for the power to continue through this thing. So that, it will hurt you, but you've already been dealing with some pain anyway, and you are stuck there for the time being. But it will keep the machine operating kind of inefficiently, and the pauses will still happen. It would be it will allow the people back in the settlement to find a way to repair this thing and just power it with batteries, or to just leave the area, or do whatever it is they're going to do to deal with the problem that's happening here.
Yeah.
So for the time being, you are tied up in that. You can do other things still, but your hands are tied up.
Yeah. Would that be a physical or a stress condition? Either one. I'm now at a -1. So.
No, this is not a significant. You are of course going to be, a prime. If somebody were to come after you, you suddenly can't defend yourself if you stick with holding your arms there, because you can't fend off attacks or anything like that. But we'll deal with that. Whose turn is it next? We'll deal with that if it becomes an issue, because I have a feeling somebody's gonna beat the living crap out of something here pretty quick, or finish something off.
Beating the crap out of things. Rampart, your go. Use your newfound rage and aggression. Your lack of serenity and amusement.
Serenity now!
All right, Broham, this is like no fun anymore. So can we just get this over with, please?
It just hit me that the mellow surfer dude can't feel serene anymore. That is
Yes.
Oh, I
Man,
know.
I just lost connection with everything, man. Oh, my energy is just. Let's just finish this, and the sword will come down. Let's see, who do we want to hit? Who's already taken the damage?
the
Cordy.
Cordy and the Trojan. Well, there's two of them now.
Yep.
For the record, they kind of split their challenge boxes, so they're
Okay.
They're not. Neither one of them is super tough, but Cordy's in rough shape, and Cordy's also looking to get the heck out of Dodge.
All right. Not so fast. And then, Rampart will swing at Cordy with the sword.
Target number 6 body check.
Target number 6. Getting my additional die from fighting. You said 6. I have. Wow, 3 1s and a 3. So that would be that'd be a no bueno. No joy. I have no joy.
Your mojo's
Cordy.
gone.
You go swinging in there, and Cordy lands in just flailing to protect themselves, lands a lucky blow. Mark a physical condition.
All right.
Oh no.
And then whose turn is it next? 6 or Zipper?
We'll go with 6.
As kind of like a move equivalent action, quote unquote, can I, while we're fighting, take the battery lead, the spare battery lead, and jam it into Rampart, and then still do an attack?
Get your head in the game, Rampart. Here, give you a little charge.
And I stick it in a very uncomfortable place.
Well, let's buy a dude a taco first.
In a Yugo?
Yes, in the back of a Volkswagen.
That's what it is. Back of a Volkswagen, in a very uncomfortable place. In the back of a Volkswagen.
And then she turns
Deep. Oh, well done.
and like spins the bat in her hand and looks at her version. It looks at Cordy again, and it's like,
You made my friend feel something. I'm gonna make you feel everything.
and I just whack him with it.
Okay. This is Cordy, target number 6.
8.
And tell me how you want to subdue Cordy. This can be a kill, or this can be a subdual knockout.
She basically starts wailing on him with the bat. Glitter is just exploding as like whack, 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 whack. And finally she hits him, backhands him with the bat one time, and he slams into the tower and is embedded in the tower unconscious. With just his legs hanging out.
Right. So he's stuck there, unconscious. The Trojan, one of them de-reses, and the other one steps kind of away from the group, and behind them, he pulls the Thanos move of just stepping backward into the portal that suddenly appears behind them. The portal you can see through to what looks to be some sort of underground or hidden. It's dimly lit. It's not a lot of the light from the sky gets in there, and immediately on the other side of the portal is barren and vacant. But in the distance, you can see all sorts of just hideous monsters and aberrants and things with arms and legs and claws and wings and tentacles and glowing eyes. Does anybody go through the portal?
Actually, I think 6 yells out,
Mister, what the hell is that?
because it would be Zipper's turn next.
I don't know, but
And no.
I
And also no.
I think we need to get away from here.
And I'm assuming Rampart. Do you go running into the portal?
Rampart looks at his compatriots and is like, "Well, we can't just let him get away." That all of a sudden Rampart became British. That was weird.
That's what happens when you
British
lose
people
your
can
chill.
Weird
British people
glitches.
can surf.
And when you lose your amusement and your tranquility, you become British.
Oh,
No offense to my Brits. I love my Brits.
Yeah,
So,
Oh.
Whoa, like after them, dudes, and Rampart will charge headlong into the portal.
Okay, Rampart charges into the portal. The portal closes. Rampart is gone.
Six grabs the dangling cord that is now hanging off the battery, drops to her knees, and screams, "Rampart!" Cambot goes up into the sky.
Machine is still sort of running as long as Zipper is here.
You mean Packet?
Sorry, Packet is here, keeping the circuit closed. The Cordy has been subdued. The people back there are receiving. The people back at the settlement are receiving their message. The group of you kind of reconvenes and kind of gets your bearings about you and starts thinking about just discussing generally what to do. The message bit comes back. And the one-word response is okay. And I'm going to do a little pass around to all of you, each of you, to tell me, how does this all wrap up now? What does the group basically is going to be looked at as leaders? You're if you suggest that the refugees leave, they'll follow your lead. If you suggest that they stay and do something with the machine to kind of make it all function and be able to continue to use this area, they'll try that. And Rampart, we will deal with you last.
There is, if I can add, as the portal closes, on the ground blinking, like a special item that maybe you would see in of course in a video game. There's a small blinking item, and it is a puka shell necklace.
Aww.
Well, Zipper is kind of all about building community and reclaiming and fixing things. So I think he at least would want to try and fix this area. But I think he have the community move here to the machine and become caretakers of it to some extent. And I can imagine getting exercise bike equivalent or treadmills, and ever so often it's my turn. I have to go get on the treadmill for a bit and power the community, and everybody chips in. Kind of thing.
Isn't that an episode of Black Mirror?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's also a really effed up episode of Rick and Morty. But continuing, built an entire world just to power your car.
I think 6, after an appropriately dramatic long pull zoom out, and then the camera comes back in, she stands up with this malicious gleam in her eye, grabs Cordy out from the wall, takes him up on top, and just slams him into the manacles. 2 on his hands, 2 on his legs. It just spits on him. It's that's for Rampart. And then she comes back down below, and she reskins back into her normal persona, and it's our brother has fallen. I must compose the most epic of surfer songs for him. I'll be over here. And she goes to sit and work on the Ballad of Rampart.
It's literally just Wipeout
music, so it's got to be
It is 100%.
And Packet.
Yeah. 6 beat me too, forcing Cordy to atone just a little bit, make himself useful, actually. But if that, can alleviate some of the pressure on her, she's gonna figure out how to help Zipper fix and rebuild this thing without, sacrificing herself in the process.
The group of you has a temporary power source, running on the assumption that since you did not outright kill Cordy anyway, you're not planning to kill them with the machine, but you've got something to power this. You can kind of kit bash it, fix it up a little bit enough so that it will continue functioning. You can get the community to move here and formulate a plan for keeping the machine running. Ren suggests finding people who are knowledgeable in these things to come in and try to figure out if they can expand it beyond the machine, if there's like we can study the machine and what it's doing in order to keep the power running, how can we like a more permanent solution to restoring power to this area and making this particular sector usable again. You know that right now, just because of the history of it, it's going to be a relatively safe place, with the exception of that Trojan that escaped. But maybe
Rampart took care
Rampart
of it.
Rampart might be taking care of that. You don't know, but that like because people don't think to go to Brick because it's an area that you just previously couldn't enter. So like that makes it kind of safe for a while until knowledge spreads that it's actually accessible. So you start to build this community and figure out a way to make this all function. Cut to the other side of the portal. There stands Rampart, with this Trojan in front of him. And off in the distance, a great many other aberrants. What does just narrate it? Just tell me, what does Rampart do to this aberrant in front of him?
Rampart takes a deep breath. You see his big shoulders kind of go in, and there's like kind of a sigh. Well, waves crested high. It's time to boogie. And he slams his forearms together, and then boom, Bodhi pops in next to him. You ready, bro? Yeah, bro. Let's do this. It's time to ride this wave. And both Rampart and Bodhi go running toward the aberrant wave and the enemy in front of them, running in. And then, of course, there's the sound of a wave crashing as the camera fades.
And credits. The end of the credits. Cut back to that immediate moment where Rampart and Bodhi take off toward the crowd in front of them. And as they pass by the Trojan, they reach out with their swords and neatly slice the Trojan into 3 equally sized pieces, which then slide off, like at angles, so the pieces just slide off of each other. And the Trojan is done, and the community is safe, and then they run into the gigantic crowd of aberrants, and then the movie ends. And that is Code Warriors, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Craig.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
Craig. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Everybody out there, thank you for listening. Everybody who donated, thank you very much for doing so. We're still technically on the air with this show, so if you want to get in there and make me spend money, and throw a donation up there, we'll let that go. I'm sure for the next few minutes we'll catch anybody who donates here at the tail end, because I'm looking for the link. I can't find the link. And thank you so much to John and Rue and all of the Rook and Rasp community, to you players, to the other GMs and players from all the groups, the other games today. The Rook and Rasp community is remarkable, frankly, and the work that you do and the time that you spend on it to build a community for role-playing game players, and in particular your embrace of the indie game developers and designers and publishers out there like myself, is wonderful, and we truly appreciate you and everything you do.
We appreciate y'all. That said, guys, yeah, we are going to keep the charity event going. We have one more game coming up at 6 o'clock. We have from Nerdy City, we're going to be doing Command Droids. So I think that's a really good way to follow up with Code Warriors is going into Command Droids. And then I'll go ahead and just to keep it going for a moment longer, I'll be sure to mention that we have several games, like I said, coming up on our Saturday gameplays for, for the next 2 months. And really quick, pulling that up, we have, in November, we have 1,000 Arrows with Brennan Taylor. And then we also have Return to the Stars with Mark Saboulakis, I believe. And then in December, we will be back with Shanty Hunters from Tristan Zimmerman.
The Any award-winning Shanty Hunters.
And so each one of those is also a member of the Independent Game Designer Network. So guys, seriously, check them out. If you go to a convention where they are present, go to their booth. You will be impressed by what you find there. And always support. I believe in community action, and I think everyone else here does too.
So, you could say that without the IGDN, there wouldn't be a Seriously Let's Play.
A lot of times, it is very true. And think of it this way, Michael and also Corey, when we did Wedding Games, Heckin' Good Doggos.
Yeah,
we did a series of that with them. So
again, shout out to Matthew. Thank you again for your donation as well.
Yes, thank you so much.
So
thank you, everybody.
And we're going to be going to, I'll be going ahead and going to credits here in a moment, but hey, if you are out there in Chatland, keep going, and yeah, see y'all at 6 o'clock, all right?
I think Craig has one more thing to say.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so.
Two things, actually, really quickly. The IGDN goes to all three of the big game conventions. You can always find us at Origins, Gen Con, and PAX Unplugged, as well as a handful of other smaller conventions around the Midwest, mostly because that's just the easiest one to get our stock from, too. And also, this game it's funded, it's happening, you'll get a game. It's just a question of like how big the book gets and whether we get a fancy version. So if you dug this game and you got a few bucks to spend, after you donate, if you only have money for one or the other, donate first. You can buy the game later. But give the Code Warriors Kickstarter a check out and see if that entices you. There's also fancy dice.
Ooh,
oh, nice.
I'm doing custom dice
sold.
in the game.
Oh, nice.
I'm all about the dice.
Little dice goblin over here.
All right. Well, we will be back, and hey, who knows? Everybody, come on back, because we could cross that $1,000 threshold by 10 o'clock tonight. So let's do it. All right.
The 6 o'clock show is completely different than the 2 o'clock show.
Yes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right.
100%.
See y'all in just a little while. See y'all soon.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank you
everybody.
for coming.